Hello, everyone. Welcome to Comic Book Late Night Unlimited. I am your host, Captain Logan, and joining me as always is Chris. We are sans Austin this evening because he is on vacation. I hope he's having a wonderful time. We missed him last night on the Supergirl review, and we will see him again in 2 weeks when I get back from vacation, because I'm going to Florida next week.
Yes.
And so we'll have a week off from this show and everything else. Mm-hmm. So enjoy your comics next week. We'll show you what's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
But we won't be reviewing that stuff for a couple of weeks. Just real quick house cleaning stuff. The only other thing that's happening for sure on the channel this week is Thursday night, and apologies to the requesters, we're not going to have a request this week because I don't have Austin, and Jason and I talked about going ahead and knocking one of those out, but people have been asking us to talk about the announcements for all the new DC animated shows that are coming out, and we've not been able to do a Captain Logan show because we've been reviewing new movies, and that's been taking the place of that show lately, so we're going to do a special Captain Logan show on Thursday, talking about the announcements for the new Joker show, and Absolute Batman, and all of that stuff. So some of that is really exciting. There's a new Powerpuff Girls movie that's been announced. I don't know why, but that's apparently happening. So we'll talk about all those things on Thursday, me and Jason. I will try to do a Patreon show tomorrow night, and never fear, because if I am able to do that, I've got plans tomorrow night. Hopefully it won't be too late. My wife and I are having some company over, but if I'm able to, I'll do it myself tomorrow night, so I'll be answering some Patreon questions, but I do those live, and then patrons can see the playback, but not regular viewers. So if you're around, whether you're a patron or not, you'll be able to see it, if I'm able to get to it. So I will try to do that. Jason and I might stream a little bit on vacation also. We're talking about backtracking and seeing some movies that we missed over the last few weeks, and if we do that, we'll try to do kind of a catch-up show with that, and I'm supposed to be hanging out with DJ at the end of this trip. We're gonna see him. He's on my way. He's in Atlanta. I'm driving all the way to Florida, so we're gonna hang out with him, and we might do a stream at his place if we have time. I don't know if that'll happen. We're gonna go over there and see a movie at his place. But anyway, so I've got a ton going on next week, but we will try to check in with you guys once or twice if we have time.
Yeah, I will say too that if you're driving there,
what, Chris?
You see, if you are driving, and for anybody that's driving to Florida, there's a lot of Georgia. There's a lot of Georgia. Georgia is a very big state. So
that's the reason it's on your mind.
Exactly.
It's like you're driving through it and you can't get it off your mind.
Yeah.
But it's not boring terrain like Iowa.
No, yeah.
So it at least has that going for it.
And like when we passed through Tennessee, that's when they had those really big rainstorms. So like every couple of miles.
Yeah, he just did this Florida trip.
I did.
That's why he's talking about this.
Yeah, no.
Like a month or two ago.
Yeah, we just went up there. We had a couple friends at the Florida Fringe, the Orlando Fringe.
You'd be down there.
That's true.
We're in Kansas.
That's true.
If you'd gone to New Jersey, you could say,
look, I'm not a geography major here.
Me neither.
Yeah.
But I know that.
I know that much. It was funny though, because like when we hit,
I'm sorry, it's Bust Your Chops Volution again.
That's true. Yeah, that's every Geek Volution. That's the.
But, and you're not even branded. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Branded. Yeah, I didn't go to Quick Trip once today, but we were driving there. And first of all, Tennessee, there was that big rainstorm that we actually hit going both ways.
Austin's there in the comments. Hi,
hey, Austin. But every like couple of miles was another truck that veered off the road. So it's like, okay, cool. Got both hands on the wheel here.
Yeah.
But I will say, too, that we were passing. I was with my girlfriend, Jen. And when we hit Atlanta, she's like, I have to do this. We have the phone, plug it into the aux, everything. She puts on, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, I am for real. Because we were in Atlanta. You gotta represent the Dungeon family.
That's a good story, Chris.
Thank you.
I got a $10 super chat from a Mitty Blof. And real quick before I read that, let me just do my standard commercial, my standard plug for how we do the super chat thing on the show. If you put in a $5 super chat, you can request comics to put on the wheel. We ask it to be around 4-6 issues if possible. If there's something you really want, it's like a 12-issue maxi, we'll put it on the wheel, but we'll probably have to axe a lot of the show when it actually finally comes up. So we'll see what happens when one of those comes up. We've only got a couple right now. But anyway, it can be a miniseries, it can be a graphic novel, it can be an arc of a series. And we have tons of them on the wheel right now. So you are playing a lottery if you do that. I can't guarantee that it will ever come up, but we have no plans to cancel this show anytime soon. And we're doing it as much, as close to weekly as possible. So we've been getting lots of requests for that. So a midi bloaf with a $10 super chat, you can give us 2 requests, and we'll put them both on the wheel. And now I shall read his super chat. Now, you don't have to give extra super chats for that. Just put them in the regular comments. And if I miss them, I'm sure Chris will see them. Because Chris ostensibly has better eyesight than I do.
A little bit.
He's got a contacts in, which means he does need an aid, but I guarantee you that your eyesight is better than mine. I mean, you want to see how insane my prescription is?
Let me see.
Watch him go blind. Watch this.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. You see, I should have worn my glasses today,
just how different it is in each eye.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I should have worn my glasses today, too. Then I could be like, all right, we're going to see how close it is to...
Well, that's true, because you do sometimes wear glasses.
I do, yeah. Usually just depends if I, get up, a little bit too late and don't want to mess around with them, or if, don't sleep in your contacts, by the way.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Rough. That is a bad thing to do.
I've done that. Let me read this comment. No, you're good. Midi blows super, and then we'll get to new books coming out tomorrow, and we'll try to blow through those. Let me also, sorry, I will totally read this, but I just also want to mention we do have a featured book tonight. It is Peter David's Aquaman Time and Tide, just a 4-issue miniseries that is kind of the post-crisis origin for Aquaman, and then he launches into his monthly after that. I thought it was part of the monthly originally. It's not, different or that it was going on during it.
Yeah, I thought it was a completely different story too. So I was reading it. And
it's a neat read, and it'll be fun to talk about. Anyway, so let me read the super chat. Cap. Hi, that's me. How do you deal with writer fatigue? I used to write every day for years and fill notebooks, but since 2023, I haven't written a word. My story still lives in my head daily. Just can't put pen to paper. That's a tough situation to be in. I'm trying to decide how much I want to talk about it, because I could talk about this kind of thing all day. It's a comic show, but it's $10 super chat, so I want to field it. But it's such a Captain Logan show kind of question.
Exactly. Yeah.
I kind of wish I was doing this on the Patreon show.
Right.
So I got to have some time to spend with it. I don't want to be highfalutin, pretentious, and act like I've never dealt with writer's block. More often, my issue isn't that I don't have ideas to write about, but that I struggle to figure my approach out.
Right.
And so, if you have an idea that's, you said your story lives in your head, but you're just having a hard time putting pen to paper. I don't know how helpful this advice is, but all I can say is make yourself do the hard work, which means let it suck.
Yes.
I mean, that's the best advice I can give you. I have 3 main tenets to creative writing, and one of my 3 major tenets is you have to write a lot of crap before you write anything good.
Yeah.
And if you it can be obviously really frustrating and can mess up your determination if you find yourself writing a few hundred words and scrap it, and the next day you write a few hundred words and you scrap that, and the next day you write a few hundred words and scrap that. But I have to say, there are projects that just require that. Now, I hesitate because this doesn't always work, but what I really want beginning writers or writers that are struggling with a new idea to really get rolling on it. What I really want to suggest those people do is, like I said, let it suck for a while, and even if you're not happy with what you've got and you want to scrap it, resist the urge to scrap it and see how far in you can get, because all of that work is useful.
Yes.
The more you get on the page that isn't working, the closer you will get, hopefully, to what will work. But if you keep starting over, you're going to get discouraged by that.
Yeah.
And it's maybe better to get several chapters into it, even several chapters into a thing, and go, wait a minute, I found it.
Yeah.
and I'm gonna have to rewrite those first 100 pages, but I needed to live in the world I'm creating and find the voice for it, and that's how you find the voice.
I think it was Ray Bradbury that told like all of his like students that write 4 pages a day, where it's like the first 3 will suck, but the last one will save your life. And like I know I've written things too. I've had writing projects that I've worked on that have basically just been like sort of other ideas I've had kind of Frankenstein together. And a lot of times too that when you do write things, you find out what works, you find out what maybe can't really hold its own right now. And again, another thing that really helps me is sometimes take the idea and find a different outlet for it. And sometimes even if you're just making the character in your head in a video game, or that's your new D&D character, or
Yeah, sure.
as a point of reference, you're just saying, but
well, and you may find yourself finding the approach through another medium, and then you can pivot back to the novel you wanted to write.
Yeah, and a lot of times too, even just having like making that character on Soul Calibur or whatever, having that visualization and actually seeing it, it's like, okay, I get it. I have the image in my head.
But very often, and I don't know if this is the case with this with this person, very often when people say I've got this idea in my head, it's some kind of a high concept premise, and there's not even a character there yet. That's very often what people are struggling to realize, where it feels like it's too big. Like I have a concept, but I don't know what the story is. I don't know who the thing is about. And I always try to get people to begin, if you can, even with a character over a premise, and even let that come from a character. But it would be disingenuous to say that even for me, the premise never comes first. It does, and I am a high concept guy. But and we got to get to comics. But real quick, the other thing I'm going to say, and I don't mean to sound discouraging when I say this, but I also have to be realistic about it and just tell you the truth. And the truth is, and everybody's different, but the truth is, you may have what you think is this really cool concept that you want to put to paper, and it may not be your time. It may not be the time for that idea. And I don't mean in the zeitgeist. I don't mean with what you can sell. I mean, you might not be in the right place in your life to write that thing yet. I think a lot of us have had this where maybe like in my early 20s, I've got this thing where I just need more life experience until I can write that. And I got to get to 40 and now it's time to write it. So if you find yourself, again, really struggling and discouraged, and you keep scrapping chapter 1, or you do what I'm suggesting and you get to chapter 10 and you go, I'm not feeling it. I feel like I'm climbing up a mountain without any climbing gear. You may want to pivot to a different idea.
And I will say,
and just put it in your back pocket.
And I will say,
and then go experience some life.
And I will say too, the one thing that I will also say too is that everybody writes different. Some people just need. I saw
Braden. That's not what I'm saying. Your idea sucks. Is what
I saw that too.
I don't know what his idea is.
But the one thing too, sometimes everybody works different. Some people just free write. If you just kind of word vomit on the page, you might be able to find it. Other people are more technical, are more structured. And like, I will be honest, I will close Google Doc and open Google Sheets, because sometimes structuring it out makes my brain work. And sometimes like finding like, all right, so what's the lock-in? What is going to be the midpoint of the story? Sometimes actually beating out the story and actually seeing like a representation, seeing the outline is what kind of makes my little Lego brain work.
And again, we got to move on. But the last thing I'll say about this is sometimes, this is what I'm saying, I could do a whole show on this. Sometimes it's also a good idea to just spitball with somebody.
That's another thing too, because great writing is rewriting, but also if you want to put this story out in the world, show it to your friends. Show it to somebody who will.
Well, I'm not even talking about showing a thing you've made. I'm saying just brainstorm with somebody.
You're
like, I don't know how to get this to paper. I get more excited about a project and get a more clear picture of the thing when I just start talking about it.
Yes.
Even if I don't know what it is yet, I start rambling, and eventually, I mean, honestly, this is kind of how I've done my whole YouTube career too.
Yeah.
Somebody asks a question on the Captain Logan show, I have no idea what the hell the answer is.
Yeah.
And I just start talking, and eventually I get to an answer.
Yeah, I mean, that...
I kind of just did that.
Right.
And so again, everybody's different. You might be a like, this is gonna sound like a weird way to put this, but like a word processor, in that you like process your ideas as you're typing them. They come out of you. You don't even know what it's going to be, and that is the process by which you figure out what the thing is.
Yes.
I am that way. I'm also a verbal processor. I think best when I'm talking, and I come up with like a lot of just like plot points and character ideas and stuff by BSing the thing.
Yeah.
You know, by just going, I don't know what it is yet, but what if it's this? And like, I just get into a pitch.
Yeah.
And if you can get into a pitch either on the page or with another person.
Exactly.
But anyway, we've got to move on.
We do. Yeah. We do.
Bob the Hun, $5 super chat. Can you put a trade's worth of Marvel DC crossovers on the wheel? Isn't that collected at this point? I mean, I think there are maybe some collections that have more than one.
Yeah.
It depends on how long it is and what exactly you want, but I need you to be more specific because I have reviewed several of them. So I need to know what you want. So like, if you asked for... And even if it wasn't a specific trade, but you were like, okay, I want you to do like these 2 or 3 crossovers, they're about trade length, I would maybe entertain that. If you wanted, like, let's say, Superman, Silver Surfer with like Punisher, Batman with like, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. Or if you wanted like the Alien Superman series that I've not done yet, but that would be one thing because it's like 3 or 4 issues. But I need you to be more specific.
Yeah,
I guess that's not DC Marvel, but I just need you to be more specific about what the crossovers would be. But so the answer is yes, but what do you want?
And we've had like some variety of links too. Like we've done some 6-issue arcs. We've done 3 issue. We've done like one shots before. So yeah.
Dan Schneider, $5 super chat on Austin's recommendation. I'm going to put Ultimate Warrior on the wheel. Oh, okay. Make sure it's the one with the Santa Claus. Those who know. Look, you have trolled us enough for the wheel. Okay. No,
we're gonna learn about this.
I'll add it, but I'm going to start to wonder if this was a bad idea.
We're gonna learn about Destrucity.
What?
So,
I don't know anything about this, by the way.
Yeah. So. Amongst
but Dan Schneider, for putting so much on the wheel, is an ultimate human. We have to give him that. He's an ultimate human.
He is an ultimate human. So, yeah, basically, the Ultimate Warrior has this theory that, you know, and this is something that he's even pitched to, like, during his wrestling career. He wanted to act WWF at the time.
Oh, it's that guy?
It's that guy. It is.
Oh, I thought this was an Ultimate Universe thing.
No, this is the actual professional wrestler. James Hellwig, legal name Warrior in all caps.
Seriously?
Yeah, well...
That's his legal name.
That's his legal name. And, like, he...
Okay.
I think it was, like, a trademark issue. I think it was kind of the same reason why Prince went to the little symbol for a while.
That's amazing.
But, who is...
One second. Bob the Hun, and sorry, we've got to get this stuff here.
Sorry.
Bob the Hun says, I was thinking the 70s and 80s one sort of in chronological order. I just need you to give me specific titles.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that because I've reviewed some of them before.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go in a chronological order with the crossovers.
Right.
Like we just did the Superman Spider-Man crossover not too long ago. That would be the first one that would be in there. Yeah. So like, no, we've done that recently. Right. So I would need, it would have to be specific ones that we've never done on the channel.
Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah.
So sorry to make it complicated, but that's not going to make sense for us right now.
I imagine like the Ultimate Universe version of the Ultimate Warrior would just be like a chill dude. Be like a guy. Everybody likes being around, just mellows out the energy.
And he's almost certainly working for S.H.I.E.L.D.
Almost certainly working for S.H.I.E.L.D. Yes.
Almost certainly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's find out what is coming out tomorrow. I'll buy comics tomorrow. It's only a day away, Chris. It is.
Everybody gets like really mad when it's like, let's sing the comic song. Like, you didn't do the Annie song.
Oh, that's true. I wasn't even thinking about the fact that there's precedent for this where you were weird and said a thing that sounded like that song, but you didn't go to that song. I nailed it, you guys.
You got
All right,
it.
Coming out tomorrow is Injustice. No, why is this here? Hang on.
Spoilers for later.
Go away.
Yeah.
That's a thing we're talking about later. Okay, for tomorrow, let me just zoom in on this a little bit. We've got Batman number 11. I thought it was 11 the last time. I guess that was just 10. I knew we were getting close to the end of the year with that. Or a year's worth anyway. Right. Absolute Martian Manhunter ends tomorrow. That was 12 issues. It started as 6, and then they gave it 6 more. Yeah. The likelihood is we're finally actually done with that.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll bring it back at some point. I'm sure that character's not done. I bet we'll see him in something down the road.
Right. Yeah.
Absolute Green Lantern is tomorrow. So a couple of Absolute books. Amazing 32 is tomorrow. That's a good cover.
Yeah. Too bad I've heard not great things about the current Spider-Man run.
Well, we could say that for the last several years.
You know he's got a hidden cousin now. Aunt May has secret child, apparently.
Yeah. With all that crazy controversy that happened with John Romita and his cover that was axed, and then there was a lot of backlash, and they said, "Fine, we'll bring it back in."
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I predicted. I knew that was going to happen. Right. I will probably buy Amazing 1000. Mm-hmm. I'll probably end up buying that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll get that cover or one of the other variants, because there's some really good ones. Now, that was originally supposed to be the A cover. I don't know if they brought it back as a variant or if they brought it back as the A cover. That I don't remember in the articles I've read about that.
We'll find out.
Anyway, I think we talked about this maybe on the show. I didn't love his cover, but I thought it was nonsense they pulled it.
Right.
And now I almost want it just because I'm sure that will immediately be worth
the cost is going
more.
up at least.
Yeah. I don't make comics about an investment, but when there's surefire stuff that I know is going to go up in value, I'll go ahead and grab it. And I don't plan to ever sell it. It's just fun to go through a notebook of stuff I've got and go, this is worth $50. You know why? Because Marvel was dumb and tried to kill it, and now it lives. And that's enough to make me almost want it.
Right.
Batgirl number 21. Let's see if this is another killer Batgirl cover, because they usually are. That's awesome. They're always so good.
Yeah.
That's gnarly.
Right.
Okay, so there is a weird thing going on with Batgirl. I got to talk about this real quick. Several of the issues that have come out just this year, and I don't think really the ones from last year, of this series, of the current Cassandra Cain series. So this is Batgirl volume 6. There are 4 issues in a row that are, and I think it's just before the blood stuff, that suddenly have jumped from the $4 or $5 cover to $15, and one of them is worth $20 now. Oh, wow. And I don't know why. That was a book that nobody seems to be talking about. Yeah. Nobody seems to care about. I'm buying it. I've said this 100,000 times, but I just like what they look like. The stories are fine. Right. The interior artwork is good. The covers are brilliant.
The covers have been super great too across the board. Just even the last few times we've seen them.
I've even bought a couple of variants of issues I had already because I liked the covers too much of both of them.
Right.
So it's kind of bizarre, but I'm really glad I've been buying that book. Because speaking of accidental investments, all of a sudden I've got 4 books that between them are worth $80.
The market is so weird right now too, because you're seeing stuff
65.
shoot up, and it's I'm not even sure why that's
So it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Moving right along, Fantastic Four 13. That is a classic, Ghost Rider looking.
That is a good cover. Yeah.
In fact, I may be mistaken. I think that might be an intentional throwback to a famous '90s Ghost Rider cover. Or if it's not, it just looks really similar.
Like it. Yeah.
Do you remember that foil I think it was issue 25. It was either a glow-in-the-dark cover or it was a foil cover.
Yeah.
I bought one for Mikey last year.
Oh, no.
And this reminds me a great deal of that.
I think I can picture. I'm not...
Fantastic Four, not Ghost Rider.
Yes.
Not Ghost Rider. Should I read some Marvel copy?
Absolutely.
Because I'm a little curious about this. Johnny Storm has had some incredibly bad ideas in his time, but every once in a while, he also has an incredibly good idea, too. Unfortunately, it's hard to tell which is which. This is wordy. Until
Yeah.
you're neck deep in their consequences. Could they just hire us to write these?
I know, yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't like Marvel right now for the most part.
Mhm.
I would take that job.
Yeah.
And by then it's usually too late. We mentioned that. I say that, then I'd have to read all the issues.
Yeah.
We mention this only because in this issue, Johnny convinces his sister Sue to go along with a scheme to use her powers. I just fell asleep in the middle of this, to turn the flesh of his skull invisible. Oh! So he really isn't Ghost Rider.
Oh, okay.
Now, I don't know why he's got chains, though! So that when he flames on, he can pass himself off as Ghost Rider and settle some old scores. What could possibly go wrong? It's a Johnny and Sue adventure you won't soon forget. This is Ryan North with art by Sorrentino. I got half a mind to buy just that issue, sight unseen. I have heard some good things about North's Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah, no, I've read...
It's apparently a decent book.
Yeah,
You read some of it?
I've read the first few issues. I
think
really
you maybe
enjoyed them.
talked
Yeah,
about that.
I've really enjoyed them, too.
That sounds like a legit cool idea.
Yeah. And
I'm digging on that.
Ryan North
Now,
is...
I think I have 6 to buy tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm going to have enough room to get a random issue of Fantastic Four, but I kind of want to get that for Mikey.
Yeah.
Because he'll love that.
Be a nice companion piece to the one you got.
Yeah, and the story sounds cool.
Yeah. I mean, Ryan North's done some cool stuff with Fantastic Four, and I mean, he did that that Darkhold Iron Man book too, which I forgot that he was the writer on that. But
yeah, Austin in the comments just gave a real good explanation of what that controversy was. I didn't get further into it because I've talked about it before.
Right.
And so I was just going to mention there was a controversy.
Yeah.
It was just that he made a cover that people said looked too much like Spider-Man was just shrugging, like 1000 wasn't that big of a deal, and that wasn't what he was going for on the cover, and it didn't translate great to people, and so they made fun of it, and Marvel overcompensated.
Yeah, it's...
You know what I would have done?
What's that?
I would have added a word balloon
Mm-hmm.
that said, "Hey everybody, it's 1000!" You know, just make him like really excited about
it's
it.
1000!
Like, no, really, he's not shrugging. He's stoked, you guys. Or put a party hat on him.
That's
Just
exactly...
put a party hat. No, that would make it worse.
No, here's what you do. Just say
I'm wearing a party hat and I'm shrugging.
It's like, all right, 1000. Isn't that the perfect tribute to Stan Lee's Steve Ditko, though, where the art is saying one thing, the dialogue is saying another?
That's perfect.
Like, I'm really excited.
That's really funny. Poison Ivy 46 somehow. Iron Man 7, that's a great cover. I'm still not sure how I feel about dropping that because it's a really good book.
Yeah.
Punisher 6, that's a gnarly bloody cover there. Dead Man. That Batman Green Arrow question thing is continuing. I thought that was a 3-issue series. It's not. Austin was buying that. I don't know if he still is. I would like to read that when it's finished.
Yeah.
It sounds great. Spawn 377 is tomorrow. Generic Spawn cover, but a pretty Spawn
Not
cover.
a bad one.
I'm digging on it.
Yeah.
Who's that cover artist? Mirko Kolak is a name I don't recognize.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty.
It's a good cover.
I'm probably not gonna buy it this time, but it's pretty. Wade Wilson, Deadpool, Immortal Thor, JSA, X-Men United, Radiant Black 43. I can't believe how far in that is.
Yeah.
We should catch up at some point.
Yeah.
They're bringing back the Marvel swimsuit issues. They did that last year. Supergirl Survive 2 is tomorrow, and it looks like she's gonna go to the Lobo planet. And Austin and I were talking about this today, but remember how last week I talked about the end of that first issue. She's on Krypton's moon, and there's some scary creature, and all you see is the back of his arm, and I thought maybe it was Doomsday.
Yeah.
The suggestion here is that it was probably one of...
It was a Lobo. It was one of multiple Lobos.
Well, that's what I was going to say is... what is... Caesarian, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that...
Or Zarian, or
Zarian, that's
yeah.
Zarnian. That's his race. I can never remember what that is.
Yeah.
But anyways, so maybe that's what was on the moon. I don't know why there was a Lobo on the moon, Or maybe she actually like just runs away from a doomsday and then goes and finds Lobos.
We're Lobos on the moon.
I don't know, but I'm very curious to see what that's all about.
Yeah.
The last thing I expected on the next cover for that issue was Lobos.
It was a whole family of Lobos.
Now, I'm sure somebody's going to say, well, Cap Synergy, like, obviously, because the movie's got Lobo in it.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily, like, with DC, I'm not expecting that that's a mandate thing. If
Right.
it was, they would have led with it.
Yeah. Exactly.
If it was, that first cover would have been, it's Superman and Lobo, and probably Crypto is on the cover.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
DC tends to go hard when they do the synergy thing, too.
No, I'm saying Marvel goes hard.
Oh,
with
Marvel
it.
goes... Well, DC...
DC will do it.
Yeah.
But they're, I don't want to say they're more subtle about it, but they lead more with their story and the DC comic universe.
Right.
Is what I'm saying. So it'll be like, well, we're strategically choosing to do these characters right now because they're in a movie, and we want there to be something for people, like both directions.
Right.
So we're reminding you that this stuff is in the movie.
Right.
And if, for the 5 people that walk into a comic shop after they see a superhero movie, because no one does that, especially now, we want there to be something on the shelf for them.
Right.
That's understandable.
Yeah,
I've always said that.
Yeah.
But what you don't want is for everything to have to just be a watered down milquetoast kind of representation of the movies,
right.
Or that everything we're putting out is just in anticipation of adapting it to movies, thinking about what's already in them, as opposed to actually adapting, where we have this universe that looks like this, and this movie universe that looks like this, and the stories are different. We're just using stuff from things that are recent.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, it might be fun. Might be good.
Moving right along, what if Secret War... Well, I mean, I like that first issue. Fun. What if Secret Wars #1? I've not been buying recent What Ifs lately. I used to collect What If real hardcore, and I have the same thing that I do with Venom now, where I just don't have to have everything that's new now. I collect it up to a date. But I always flip through them to see if they look cool, and occasionally I'll grab one. Yeah. So, again, if I didn't have so much tomorrow, I might get that. But, you know what? I'm looking closer at this. I think I missed a couple when I was counting earlier, so I think I have more like 7.
Okay, so
Doctor Strange 8. What the hell is happening in Adventures of Superman Book of L? I'm getting more and more curious about this book every time I see a cover.
Right. Wrath of the Old Gods, or...
Sonic X, or DC X Sonic is tomorrow again, and I'm shocked we're already at another issue of that.
Yeah.
Scorched 52. I only buy Scorched issues, Chris, when they got She-Spawn on the cover. But look, here's my She-Spawn.
Got the She-Spawn.
We're already more than halfway through because it's only a 4-issue miniseries.
There we go.
And that makes me sad because I'm liking that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Godzilla's tomorrow. Comics, the magazine. Rogue One. Saw Gerrera. Okay.
Yeah.
It's so weird we're just suddenly putting out Rogue One stuff.
Right.
I'm sure part of that's because, of Andor, but
Andor...
but the branding is Rogue One.
Yeah.
And that's so weird in my brain.
And Andor hasn't had a new season.
It's done.
Yeah.
They're only doing the 2.
Huh.
Transformers 40th Anniversary Edition 2 is tomorrow. Austin talked about the first issue of that last week. Those are reprints.
Mm-hmm.
Challenges of Doom, Mr. Fantastic #1. Okay.
Right.
100 Bullets.
Oh wow.
US of Anger. Yeah. Crazy. I've never read the original, but it's odd that
I've read bits and pieces of it.
Have
too.
you?
Yeah.
Ghost Machine official guidebook. They've got so much stuff, they probably need that. Sam and Twitch Case Files 25. I can't believe that's been going on as long as it has.
Yeah.
And once again, big Spawn Day tomorrow. There's three.
3 spawns.
Spawn related comics tomorrow. They cannot be selling enough copies of those things to justify how many of them there are.
Yeah.
And I'm really surprised the Spawn Universe thing has continued as long as it has before McFarlane finally loses enough money that he backs off on it and goes, okay, we're going to have one ongoing again. Maybe we'll do some minis every now and again. No, he's doubled, tripled, quadrupled down on it. And this has gone on for 4 or 5 years now.
He's got his action figure money too.
Or is it longer than that? Does this go back to to just around COVID? The Spawn Universe? I think maybe
I wasn't following Spawn super closely.
I think maybe he's been doing this for 6 or 7 years. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I'm trying to get through this.
Yeah.
Event Horizon has a comic that I didn't know about. They're doing facsimiles of Avengers JLA. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Power Rangers Unlimited starts tomorrow. I will try at least the first issue. Like I keep saying, I have not been impressed with the previews for the new Power Ranger stuff. Although I've got more of a sense of hope about this one, even though I'm not in love with the Unlimited Ranger idea or her suit. I don't get why Trini is so massively featured in 2 out of the 3 books. Not that I have anything against Trini. It's just, why is she the Unlimited Ranger? It's almost like they're doing this compensation thing where they're going, okay, well, you can have your Power Ranger book that includes a lot of different teams that aren't Mighty Morphin, but by God, we better put a Mighty Morphin character up front with that. No, you've already got your Mighty Morphin book, and I mean, it sucks so far, but it's not good. But you do have that, and you've got fans chomping at the bit for something like this. Again, I was hoping this was anthology. It doesn't look like it really is, or at least it's got a framing device with her, but apparently the first issue is setting up a team that operates out of Aquitar, which is fun because I like Aquitar a lot. And the other thing I'll say is I didn't like any of the covers for the first issue of the new Mighty Morphin, but I am liking some of the variants for this, particularly this one. That's good. That is gorgeous, and this is a veteran. We do have a veteran Power Rangers artist on this book, so that's good. But if I can end up with this one tomorrow, I will grab that.
I do like the one where she's like mid-morph too.
Except I don't like her suit.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, like that's a cool idea.
It's a cool cover, but the suit is a little.
But the suit's stupid because it's not as stupid as the new Mighty Morphin suits.
Yeah.
They didn't even jack with it quite as much as that, except they put the lightning logo on the front of it, which just makes it feel almost generic. Like it's almost like she's selling the brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that too.
It's just kind of an odd choice. Right. So I don't know what we're doing with Power Rangers right now. She's even got the I'm just noticing this. She's even got the lightning bolt on her communicator.
Oh, I just noticed that now too.
Okay.
Yeah. Well.
She looks cool with that hair though.
Yeah.
I mean,
apart from like the costume, I still think it's a good cover. You know.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. But that's not the one I want.
Right. Fair.
I want this one, and so do you.
I wonder if a lot of the having Trini do that stuff too. I wonder if that's like a roundabout way of trying to lampshade her not being in the new series.
What do you mean her not being in the new series?
Oh, like her not being able to make the appearances because of the actress having passed away. That we're not having Trini in like any of the Once and Forevers and stuff like that too.
Well, yeah, but that was already a couple of years ago. Like, there's no Power Rangers at all right now.
Yeah,
like we're not making anything. I don't know what that has to do with anything. This is all relaunching it to make people care again. Yeah, there's nothing happening at all right now.
Right,
and also
I'm just looking for a reason for any reason. Yeah, well, I'm trying to make sense of it.
With respect, it can't be that. Yeah. Once and Always was a gigantic tribute to her. We made it all about her daughter, and they didn't have to even kill her off in continuity, but they chose to make it a tribute to her, which was honestly kind of a weird choice. It's like a couple of decades after the actress has passed, you give her an on-screen death in just like a suit actor,
right,
in costume, and it bordered on looking nearly insensitive. And ultimately, by the end of the day, the whole thing is a decent tribute,
right?
But the start of it is weird.
Yeah.
And anyway, we got more things for the wheel. Thanks, guys. 559 $5 super chat. My choice for the wheel this week is the Claremont Miller Wolverine miniseries from '87. That's great. I own those in singles, actually.
I've got a hardcover of those too.
Those are worth quite a bit now.
Yeah.
They used to be a dime a dozen and really easy to get, and I sold them on eBay several times. And now that I say quite relatively valuable. That first issue, I forget what that's worth. If that's like a $50 book or $100 book, but I mean it's worth a decent amount.
And they're doing a tribute to it in the new season '97 too.
Yes. Which is about to come out.
Yeah.
And I think next week, the week after, maybe. Is it that close?
Very soon, yeah.
Yeah,
Within the next few days.
I gotta catch up on some things. We're supposed to review Spider Noir. I've not gotten started on it. X-Men 97's about to happen. My Adventures with Superman just started, and I don't know when I'm gonna get to that. And I haven't reviewed any of that.
Right.
I don't know. Someday, hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm so busy with stuff. 559. Let me get that on the wheel. Wolverine 87 miniseries. Let me catch up everybody here because we've got super chats coming in. Let me make sure I didn't miss any others. I have missed some things. Let me get them. And if you actually, could you pull your phone up and bring up the comments and see if just so you can look at them closer and not have to look over my shoulder. And could you check and see if Bob the Hun has mentioned specific things that he wants for the wheel in comments, and check and see if a MIDI Bloaf happened to make any requests, because he put in a $10 super chat and didn't ask for anything. Thanks for helping me out.
Yeah, I got you. No worries.
On
Chewbacca's lover.
We already got that one. I'll get it. I'll get that.
All right.
Don't worry about the super chats. Just look at the regular comments. See if anybody's asked about specific books. Chewbacca's following up from super chats. Chewbacca's lover $5 super chat. Joss Whedon's Frey. You did a non-spoiler review of it on the Omnibus, but not a Vault. Would like to see you go into depth on it. Okay. I mean, that was a million years ago, so I'm all right with that. Frey. I didn't remember I did it non-spoiler. Okay. I remember liking that quite a bit, so I wouldn't mind revisiting it.
By the way, Austin, you're welcome. We're whalers on the moon.
We already got 559. Okay, almost caught up. Dan Schneider, $10 super chat. Thank you, buddy. To make up for my trolling, I will put something good on Grant Morrison's X-Men, but to balance that out, put Rob Liefeld's Youngbloods on the wheel. Okay. How are we just doing the start of Morrison? Because I feel like I've reviewed that before. I know I've read some of it.
Yeah.
Let me just check real quick. I'm gonna do a cursory search and see if I've talked about any Morrison X-Men. Because obviously we can't do the whole run.
No, yeah. Even if we just do like E is for Extinction, I mean,
is it the start of it, or is that
that's the start of it?
So,
that's
some ways in, or
and it's one of those that it kind of tricks you into thinking the arc's over, where all of a sudden it's like, hey, something weird has happened. Oh no, Cassandra Nova's back.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
he creates her, right?
Yes. And I mean, I like that run too. Riot Ag Xavier's is probably like one of my favorite X stories, just because it's like such like a simple idea that no one.
And I don't want to get super far into this right now, but I am in the camp that says, and I've not read all of it, but from what I've read, like Morrison has with some other things, it's a good run, but it also kind of breaks the universe and then doesn't put the toys back in the box.
Right.
And in certain ways, we've been trying to figure out how to recover from that for 20 years, and we've never done it.
Right.
That is the issue with him, and I think he had that, in my opinion, and some people won't agree with this, with Batman, but to a lesser degree.
Right.
Where at least it was because you had other major writers like Paul Dini at the time doing something more classic with Batman. You could always kind of pivot back a little bit more to that. But he did add some things to the history that you're always stuck with now. You know what I mean?
You got
Damian. And like, I would love a Batman universe that's not saddled with that.
Right.
Even though I've liked Damian in things, but like, you're forever more stuck with that. And you know, with Batman Incorporated and you know, all of those things. But I think he, for lack of a better word, his run for X-Men is problematic for X-Men in a way nothing else he ever did was. Where I don't know that we ever really bounced back from that.
Some of his, like, I know people are still trying to figure out Zorn.
When Morrison comes in to major, to a major property like
Yeah.
that, I almost want it to be set apart and not in continuity.
Right. I mean, people are still trying to figure out Zorn.
He's just always seeing how far he can push things.
Yeah.
And then it's like, where do you go from there?
Right.
I want his stuff to be out of continuity, and I want Miller to usually be out of continuity.
Miller stuff.
At least with Batman.
Yeah, and like with Miller stuff too, Miller has his own like continuity in his head. And like Year One and Dark Knight Returns, and then everything else that he's done kind of fits somewhere between that.
Mm-hmm.
Like All Star is technically in that continuity. Like Superman Year One's in that. But out of like everything, Year One is the only thing still in like actual DC continuity. But and that the only other thing is like Batman Spawn, where he calls him like a punk 20 times.
Right. Braden, how did he break X-Men? It's the thing where we have to cordon the X-Men off in their own kind of society, and we feel like we just keep having to go back to that, and it feels like it's kind of against the initial premise of how do we coexist with humanity. It feels like ever since Morrison, the X-Men have not been as interested in that.
Right. I could see that too, and I know that's
always been kind of my issue with it.
Yeah. And I mean that was also kind of like the big thrust behind X-Men Avengers or Avengers versus.
Yeah, Dan Schneider. I got Youngbloods on there too.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of that too, especially with like the Whedon run after, there were writers who came in and tried to kind of not necessarily undo what Morrison did, but at least kind of smooth it out.
Yeah.
And I mean, I say smooth it out, even though I do actually really like that run, but at least roll it back to a point where it was more recognizable too.
Okay, we hit all the major stuff coming out tomorrow, so let's go ahead and move on now, shall we? We'll talk about stuff that we picked up and read last week. We're caught up now, so I'm not going to have a crazy amount to talk about. And a couple of books that came out last week, I actually went ahead and read in digital and already reviewed last week, so I'm not going to need to talk about Absolute Batman because I already did that.
Yeah.
I said last week I would hit it real quick and then talk about it possibly more this week, and then I was thorough enough. I don't feel like I didn't read it again.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I need to talk about this anymore, so you'll just have to wait till the next issue. And there was another one like that too that I already talked about. Oh, you know what? No, it was Barbara Gordon Breakout, which Austin briefly mentioned. But I read this, and I'll just say I'm digging on this quite a bit. I thought the first issue was just fine, and I was a lot more sucked into this. And it's just a really cool, moody kind of book. I like the imagery that we're doing in these kind of dream sequences we're doing with Barbara Gordon, where the Joker keeps showing up outside of her cell, and like he's not really there, but we've got these really cool panels with that, and with just what she's going through, it makes a lot of sense that she is kind of like having that scare, and it's a good mystery trying to figure out who's after her and why. At the end of last issue, you had Two-Face's daughter die, who hurt her but didn't kill her, and there's this big question as to why she wasn't killed, and she's still trying to protect some people that are being targeted in the prison. And I thought the dialogue writing here was real sharp. I like this issue, like I said, quite a bit more than the previous. And this wasn't even a thing I was originally gonna pick up, and I'm glad that I am. It's quite good. This is issue 2. Yeah,
that's good.
It's gonna be a 4-issue mini.
Yeah, I've got issue 1 right now. I'm getting through, so hopefully I'll be caught up by that by next time.
Chris, just to change pace a little bit, why don't you talk about stuff that you brought? And then I'll run through the rest of my vlogs.
So, first of all, let me just say that there is a book we share that I don't think you said you hadn't had a chance to read yet. But
what now?
There's a book that we had a chance to share. I need to tell everybody the story. I thought this was a facsimile for another book. But if Destruction Be Our Lot issue 2 has a variant that for some reason is a tribute to sex criminals,
I don't know why that is.
Don't know why that is.
For issue 2, that's so strange.
Yeah, and like I do really like the cover here with Abe Lincoln's hat.
So did you really pick that up? Go, I thought this was a facsimile, and then go, oh, good, it's of a series I'm reading anyway.
I didn't.
Because didn't you get the first issue?
I got the first issue. Yeah.
Have you read it?
I have. Yeah, it's good.
Did we talk about
We
it
did,
together?
actually, yeah,
I couldn't
yeah.
remember if you'd read it by the time we talked about it.
Yeah, no, it was good.
And he's got me at a disadvantage this time because I completely forgot to read this.
Yeah, yeah.
So I actually I've not done my homework on this one yet. I took all my pulls with me out today to read because I had to go out for a few hours to drop Jason somewhere. And when I got back, or not when I got back, but like right before the show, I looked at a couple other issues I had on my desk and realized that this was there, and I completely forgot to bring it with me. So I'm irritated because I love that first issue, and I can't wait to find out what happens. So Chris isn't going to spoil too much for me.
No, I won't spoil too much. Let me just say that a lot of the stuff you liked about the first issue, they keep up at this too. And I was like, for the record, I didn't buy this thinking it was a facsimile for Sex Criminals, but I saw it at first thought.
Initially
thought is like, oh no. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Can I see it for a second?
Yeah, please.
That's a 1 in 10 variant. How much more did you have to pay for it?
It was $10.
Was it? And you went ahead and bought it?
Went ahead and bought it, yeah. It's you are a bad influence, sir. I am buying pretty colors now.
Yeah.
But covers. But yeah.
Sorry about that. Now, I will say, and I'm not dogging on Chris for this, because I'm not saying I would never buy a 1 in 10. If it was just the most gorgeous thing, I might. I've not done it yet. Now, that's not to say that I've never spent $10 on a book just because I like the variant cover.
Yeah.
But right when it comes out, when it's advertised as it's 1 in 10 or 1 in 25, 1 in 100, I don't typically do that.
Yeah.
When it's like, it's going to be another $5.
Right.
Yeah, usually I don't do that. I usually will pay more of a premium if it's a thing that's been out for a while and it's just going to be harder to get. And that's just the value of it now.
Right.
These things for me, again, I'm not dogging on you.
No, you're good. Yeah.
If it's pretty enough, I might. But I would buy it because I wanted it, not because I'm speculating.
Right.
And the reason 1 in 10s are $10 or more is because you're speculating.
Right.
And so because they're just for people that don't understand the collecting with this. If they're, I've been bringing more of this component to the comic show the last year because I've gotten a little bit more into that side of it. And it's a thing I never talked about enough before. So anybody that's that kind of doesn't care about that or is kind of sick of me talking about that, apologies, but there is a big collecting aspect to this for me, and I want people to know what they're getting themselves into. Because some people, it's really easy to fall into the speculation game, and I'm just going to say don't do that. So the reason 1 in 10s are more expensive is because you're playing a lottery hoping that because it's rarer, it will go up in value.
Right.
And sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't, and sometimes they technically do, but you'll never get that for it. So you might have a book that is technically worth $85. You got to look at eBay sold listings. They're not necessarily bringing that.
No,
I will totally let you review this book.
No, you're good. I mean, basically everything
and then we'll read the super chat. Thanks
sounds good,
for the support tonight, guys.
And Austin's helping educate people about what Sex Criminals was. It's a very good book, just so you know.
I love how Austin's not on the show tonight, but he's still over there, like, doing some of my job for me.
Exactly,
where he's like, Cap's not looking at the damn comments. I better fix this.
He is spreading the good word about Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky, which I appreciate.
Oh, good old Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah. He did art for it, too. He didn't write the book.
No, I was going to say.
But again, a lot of the stuff you liked about the first
joking.
book.
He's just hit and miss. I've liked him with stuff. Anyway, good.
The stuff you liked about the first book, it's in here too. The art's great. A lot of the philosophical talk is in there as well. There's a big plot about how the robots are basically in like the smelter, and they realize like, okay, the less human we look, the more of a chance of survival we have. So there's like robots like pulling off their own heads, be like, humans have heads. I don't have a head.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then it's, again, like the first issue, it is very action heavy. So all things considered, it is a pretty quick read. There is a character who's guiding Abe Lincoln through, their escape plan. And there are parts too where Abe Lincoln's horrified, where he's like ripping other robots apart, and it's like, no, I needed legs. this guy's dead. He's not gonna need these legs. So, recommendation. If you like the first one, you'll love this one.
Yeah, the identity stuff in that is really cool.
Yeah.
It's your classic, of course, what makes a man a man story through technology, but it's also that question of how much of humanity is even worth preserving.
Yeah.
And then the identity thing is, if you look human enough, can you and you mimic humanity enough, will that allow you to more or less become human? It really is the data TNG thing. And so Lincoln, in that first issue, and I'm sure he's doing it here. You have to tell me. Keeps like spouting, espousing a lot of the original Lincoln's sayings from speeches and stuff. And it's such a good choice to go with Lincoln.
Yeah.
Because it's reminding us of our potential and the best that humanity has to offer.
Right.
In a future where we've destroyed ourselves and there are no people. And he has the data thing where he kind of wants to become human because he's been put in the likeness of the most altruistic of us.
Yeah, and even...
And like a real leader. Right. And I think it's important that he's a leader, too.
Yes,
because it's a guy that if he were still alive, it's hard to imagine that humanity would have wound up in the place that it did.
Right. And even like the title is a reference to like a 1838 speech.
Yes.
Which, So, definitely recommend. And I will say, too, that at least like midway through, it is a pretty breezy read because there's a lot of action sequences. It's very action heavy in the middle, but that doesn't really detract from, the actual story, the actual character development. And won't say anything else. There's a little bit of a twist at the end that's pretty cool. Won't say anything else. So, another thing I
will make sure and read that soon.
Yes.
Give me a second. Let me read the super chat because Bob the Hun put in $10 and asked for Ed Brubaker's Scene of the Crime and 100 Bullets. So the first arcs of those. I think Ed Brubaker's might be it. That might be a shorter thing. But first arc of 100 Bullets, which I've always heard great things about. That's Azzarello.
Yes.
He said both are crime books. He says, like zombies, we know Cap has a secret love for that genre. I guess that's kind of true. I don't think to the same extent with zombies, where I seem to just latch onto a lot of different types of zombie things, even though I never thought I was a zombie fan and realized I was.
Yeah.
With crime fiction, I think it's very case by case.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I love typically like gangster fiction, but I sometimes really like organized crime stuff.
Yeah.
And so you'd think, well, that's always gangster stuff, but there's like a flavor for like gangster.
Yeah.
Versus, I don't know what that is. And then sometimes I really like espionage, but I don't think of myself as like a spy guy. But that's not always spy fiction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think there's a lot of different types of zombie stories, but I think that's more niche than crime fiction.
Right. I mean, yeah,
it's
a lot of that stuff is kind of
we just psychoanalyze me on these
exactly.
That's all.
Let's
we're doing.
Get real here.
It's a gigantic waste of everyone's time.
Yeah. So, moving on. I also have. I got it.
You got it.
I got it.
You got the eye collector.
Got the eye collector.
Can I thumb through it?
Absolutely.
Because I'm very curious about the art in this.
Here's the thing.
This was a thing that I considered last week. The copy we read was so interesting.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it on the shelf, and I forgot all about it.
Right.
I'm so glad you bought this.
It's very much an art heavy. The art
is cool.
Yeah, the art is wild.
I don't get to say this very often. This is unlike anything I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, I was reading through the book. It's like, I don't think I've seen a comic that's looked like this ever.
What it looks like? Because I mean, obviously you can tell like influences and things with stuff.
Yeah.
But this feels real original to me.
Yes.
And sorry, I will let you review this, but I just had this thought. What is happening in this book? It's crazy.
It's very cosmic horror. It's very like
and
sci-fi.
It's super surreal. Yeah. It looks like every panel is the cover of, I'm gonna put it like this, of a science fiction magazine through all of the eras.
I could see that.
That's what it's looking like, just thumbing through it, where it's like, here's like 1950s pulp sci-fi magazines, going all the way up to like cyberpunk novel covers. Maybe it's not even all magazine.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? And it's just so multimedia. Like some of this looks like it could be hand drawn. Some of it is, they're like playing with photography.
Yeah.
I have to get my hands on this.
It's cool. And the one thing about it, too, is that there isn't a lot of, like, really... The plot itself isn't really covered.
Braden, it's the Eye Collector.
It's the Eye Collector.
From Image. It just came out last week.
But yeah, the setup is... I also kind of love the setup of the book where two astronauts go up in space and this cosmic entity kills one of them and the other one is like, why did you do that? The entity goes, I heard your wish. The guy's like, what wish? Like, I didn't wish for you to kill my friend. Like, no. You wish to come back a hero. You wish that when you got back to Earth, people called you a hero. Now you're the sole survivor of a mission to space. You can arrive back. You are the sole survivor. What's more heroic than that? So again, that's kind of the setup, and then from there, it just gets bonkers. It's like, I don't even know what's happening, dude.
I was going to say, can you follow it?
Yeah. You can at least know... Basically, what you do need to know is that there's a big monster that's just messing with two astronauts.
Okay.
Kills one and kind of tortures the other.
Because I have read experimental underground indie stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not Image, but I mean like made in a guy's basement.
Yes.
Where it was like interesting to see him try something different.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know what the hell I was looking at.
Yeah.
And that I feel like, not having read it, but just looking at the art, that even if I don't know what's happening, the art is so just singularly original.
Yeah. And
that might drive me through it. You know, like I had that with Absolute Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
But the multimedia thing is really interesting to me.
It's really, I mean, I
love stuff where you look at it and you go, I can't even tell you exactly how this was made.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know what I was expecting when I bought this book, but, and I mean this in the best way.
I didn't know either from that cover. That's why I was so curious about it.
And I do mean this in the best way. I didn't know what to expect.
Yes, Austin, like that Bendis book we reviewed.
Exactly. I didn't know what to expect, but it wasn't this. I mean this in the best way. I mean this in the absolute best way.
It's so creepy.
It really is, yeah. And the monster...
I think I want it.
Yeah. And the fact is, like, the actual monster is sort of amorphous in a way, too, where it doesn't really have one form. It's just a blob of eyes. I mean, it's very Lovecraftian. It's very cosmic horror. So, anyway, recommend this.
I'm so glad you bought that.
I saw this and like, I just got it.
I wanted that reviewed on the show, and you gave me my wish.
I do what I can.
I wish I had seen it myself. That's awesome.
Last thing I got, this is a thing I haven't read, but I picked this up on a good deal. I do kind of want to read this. This is called Bitter Root. It's the first trade. I know roughly the story. That's about monster hunters in the 1920s. So that was enough to just sort of pique my interest. But like, okay, I need to have this. And some of the pinups in the back too are just super cool. With So yeah, we got some pinups in the back too.
I'm listening. I'm multitasking. Go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah.
Oh, that art's nice.
Yeah, it's Jazz Age Monster Hunters.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, again, haven't actually had a chance to read this yet.
How new is it?
Only within the last couple of
recent?
years. Let me see if I can find a date.
Is that also an Image book?
Yeah, it's also an Image. All three books are Image.
Okay. So that would have come out in singles. That's just a trade.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still an ongoing. It won the Ringo in 20. Oh wow, the Ringo and the Eisner in 2020. So at least within the last 6 years, 6 or 7 years. So picked this up, heard good things, got a good deal at Cargo Largo, which
Cargo Largo.
Cargo
I've never
Largo.
used that.
Here's the thing about Cargo Largo. Most people outside the greater Kansas City area probably know it as the store where people found like Barbies covered in meth.
Oh,
That's
good.
the
But your comic book was not covered in
comic
meth.
book was not covered in meth.
Does it smell like drugs when you walk in?
Not the good kind.
Oh, no.
Actually, I take that back, too.
That's even worse.
It's, Independence, Missouri. Look, man, they're having the World Cup there. So, hey, it's a few miles away from the stadium. So,
That's a good point.
Yeah. But that's all I brought. So,
well, thank you for bringing those delightful items.
Yes.
I want the eye collector now. It's funny because I'm not a big horror guy, and you guys know that.
Yeah.
And there will be sometimes kind of like surreal, weird, like body horror, whatever that looks kind of interesting. But I'm like, I wouldn't buy that. I don't know if with eye collector it's because it's in space.
Yeah, I mean, there's that sci-fi element
because
too.
it's got because it's so like Twilight Zone looking.
Yeah.
Because I don't go to Twilight Zone a lot, but when I say Twilight Zone with a thing like that, I'm talking the like visual like drawing and animation stuff in Twilight Zone. It's because that's the other thing about it is it's like if you took those things and made a story out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of that's just the intro.
Yeah, you're traveling through a new dimension, wherever.
Like the Twilight Zone covers have that stuff.
Yeah.
But then the book is just, I mean, they're stylized.
Yeah.
By different artists. But they don't look like that.
No, yeah. And like I said, this is a book. Again, the one thing I'll say too is that there was still a plot, and the plot itself.
I don't know what it is, but
yeah.
there's a plot.
It was easy enough to follow, and at the end of the day, if you aren't able to follow it, all you really need to know is that there's a monster messing with astronauts. So.
Another book that I already reviewed from last week, but I actually have in my captainy little hands now is Absolute Green Arrow 2.
Yep.
So we already talked about that. Was the first cover, did the first cover also have a green background? Because it'd be cool if they all had that.
Yeah.
Like that. And then we already talked about, you talked about Destruction.
Yep.
Okay, other things that I actually read, not a ton. I think last week I bought like maybe 6 new books. So first of all, we have Superman Father of Tomorrow #2. This is again in Elseworlds, I believe 4-part miniseries. So we have this running concurrently, even though they came out one week apart, with the new Supergirl book that we reviewed last week, and I liked that first issue of Supergirl maybe a little bit more than Father of Tomorrow, which I thought was just okay.
Yeah.
The second issue is Dynamite.
Really?
It's so good.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm shocked by it.
Okay, yeah.
Because I was not ultra won over by the premise.
Yeah.
That first issue is really just setting the stage for a really cool status quo for in Elseworld Superman, and you get a bit of a time jump into this, and I don't think you'll get a time jump every issue. I think it's sort of like that first issue is a pilot to get the ball rolling, and now the real story is starting.
Yeah.
Sort of like the Donner movie did it, in its way. Where it's like we've got to show the destruction of Krypton, and then we time jump.
Yeah.
And this weirdly sort of has that. I like this status quo, and just the writing felt sharper. There's some really cool witty stuff in this. I'm recommending this actually suddenly pretty hard.
Hear our voice, blink twice.
Yeah, let me just refresh this and see if it's just my browser. But that's not looking great.
Let me take a little look here, see if
No, we're still on.
Yeah.
We might have jumped out for a second. Yeah, it says blink blink. Like we did drop out for a minute.
If you're happy, you know it, clap your hands.
So anyway, what I was saying is so the second issue I ended up really loving, actually.
Yeah.
And to the point that I'm gonna say I wish this was an ongoing.
Right.
I wish this was an out of continuity ongoing, because I think there's so much cool stuff to mine with it. So here's the status quo as it is. Let me, because there's actually quite a bit going on here, and it gets a lot done in its 22 pages. So let me set the stage for this. Jor-El decides at the end of the last issue that he's going to basically try to save the Earth and make it as much of a utopia as possible with Kryptonian technology. And we already kind of set up the worry that if you give humanity this advanced technology, it's going to fall in the wrong hands. We're not going to use it properly. We're not going to be responsible with it. And naturally, of course, that is happening. Now, by and large, it's working out really well. With this bit of a time jump, and the Earth is benefiting from Jor-El's technology, especially in the medical field, where it's saving a lot of lives. But there are people, as you might expect, reverse engineering the Kryptonian technology and turning it into lethal weapons. And Jor-El is working side by side with Lex Luthor, who responds very differently to Jor-El than he did Kal-El in the regular continuity, because he sees him as an intellectual and scientific equal, and because they have more similar goals than the traditional Superman does, who just wants to save people and allow them to make their own choices and let them have their own actions and consequences. Jor-El is much closer to Lex, where he goes, no, let's actually save everyone. Damn some of the consequences. But they butt heads really hard because Lex wants to create non-lethal weapons and sell them as a deterrent for all these lethal weapons that are being made. Now, I don't even know if his plan would work. Where it's like, because that was the one thing I questioned, where it's like, okay, Lex, so because there are non-lethal weapons, you're saying people won't reverse engineer Kryptonian technology to kill people? I wondered about that, but I liked the larger kind of ideological argument. Which is, Lex thinks they need to be more proactive about this, and Jor-El thinks that it's like he draws a hard line at selling weapons. And so that's a line he won't cross, and there's this kind of ends justifies the means question. And there's also this big kind of loyalty question. And so you end up, minor spoiler, but you won't be surprised by this, with kind of the classic Superman and Lex are best friends turned enemies. By the end of this, and it's handled really well. Lois is there and helping Jor-El, and against her father, Sam Lane, who doesn't trust Jor-El and who is sending metahumans after him, including Parasite. And Parasite in this is pretty great. You also get just like fun Superman villain stuff that I wasn't expecting. It opens with a gang that includes Silver Banshee, and I love Silver Banshee. And you get a pretty good kind of scary Parasite in this, sent by Sam Lane. But you got a Lois who is working with Jor-El and sees him as so of course this is not a Lois that is dating Superman because of who Superman is. This is a Lois who sees Superman as a surrogate father. Because she can't trust and is having to actively go against her father. And Lex sees himself as sees Jor-El as a surrogate father that turns on him. And so it all becomes this like father-son, father-daughter stuff. It's really good.
It sounds good. Like,
I'm kind of shocked by it. And I'm
like, with this book.
Can I have 20 issues of this? So I don't know. I know I can be a little bit extreme sometimes in my pivots, but this is a pretty extreme pivot. Because I felt like this premise initially was too similar to Last Family of Krypton. And I'm liking this a lot better, like honing in on like just Jor-El and the what if of this. And Elseworlds are not always what ify, but this one is. The what if of it is like if Jor-El landed on Earth and was Superman instead of Kal-El, how would not just he respond differently, but how would all of the same players respond to him? and it's really good.
That's have to get that now too.
See, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Braden, so you're saying that it actually earned its title. Yeah, because that first issue I was making fun of it because I'm like, well, Father of Tomorrow, his son dies in the first 3 pages of the book. Well, he's a father to everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, it did earn its title.
He did. He's the dad that stepped up. He's not the stepdad. He's the dad that stepped up.
Yeah, how is this guy? I was buying this obligatorily.
Yeah.
And you guys gotta remember too, I'm a big Krypton and Jarrell fan.
Yeah.
So seeing this treatment for this character is so cool.
Which is this issue? Just issue 2?
It's just issue 2. It gets so much done. Yeah, everything I just described this that's got like 3 issues of content.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's also not too rushed. Anyway, I loved it.
Bet issue 3 is gonna be great.
I hope so. What if it waffles back and forth?
Yeah.
I think it will be. I don't always talk about the Sonic book. I buy this mostly for my kids and just for collecting and covers, and I don't always even read them. But I did go ahead and read Sonic 87, and it was really fun. It's kind of again moody and atmospheric, which is fun for a Sonic thing. Where there is some whatever this thing is on the cover, there is like this creepy creature that is after it's Sonic, as you might suspect, Chaos Emeralds, and the whole thing takes place on Angel Island, and Knuckles is of course trying to protect his emerald, the Master Emerald. And I don't know, for someone whose only reason for living is protecting this emerald, Knuckles is really bad at it. Because it gets stolen a lot, and a lot of the time it's because he's not there.
Yeah.
This time he's standing there, and he's just got his back turned, and then this creature shows up to go after the emerald. It's like, hey, you get off that emerald. You've got one job.
You got
Knuckles.
one job, Knuckles. You got one job.
But for a kid's book, it's sufficiently creepy. Like, it's not actually creepy.
Yeah.
But like, it's got a cool vibe to it, and
this is when Sonic fought the Eye Collector.
That's great.
Sonic, you're the lone survivor because we just killed Knuckles.
Flynn has a really good sense of just variety in his stories.
Yeah.
Where he'll tell a real like lighthearted or like really silly, goofy tale, and then he'll get, for this material anyway, I mean, it never gets like super deep and thought-provoking or anything, but you'll get a somewhat more emotional story,
right?
And then you'll get into this where it feels more like an all-ages Doctor Who episode, and that's pretty neat. And I also like the muted color palette in it, where it's just real dreary, and right after an arc that didn't look as much like that, so that's kind of cool. Okay, the absolute books this week I'm not going to talk too much about because I'm in the middle of arcs that I feel like I've not given enough attention to, and in books that I missed the middle of. And I don't have Austin here to help me, and he's caught up on all of this. And is more invested in these. And that's not me saying I don't like them. I'm not as invested because I've not read all of it. And because these stories have so much going on, I need to go back to them and spend more time with them. But anyway, Absolute Superman 20, a ton is done in this, and we get I also don't want to talk too much about this because I don't want to spoil a ton with it. But we get finally the backstory for Teth Adam, and Black Adam learns things about himself he didn't know, and his own, I'll just say, his own origin, and how he gets the Shazam powers, and what all of that even is. Because it's absolute. At first, it looks like it's kind of typical DC Captain Marvel stuff. It's not. And he thinks it's basically like the standard thing. And it turns out it's not even really magic. Like, it's not magic.
Okay.
And it's like this shattering disillusionment that he ends up having, which is pretty great. And we're setting up a gigantic showdown with Superman and Black Adam at the end, where it's like, how can he even fight Black Adam? Which again is hilarious because that's what The Rock always wanted.
Yes.
And it's actually working really well on this. And it kind
Yeah.
of feels like this entire arc exists so that Jason Aaron can just troll The Rock, and it's really funny.
Here's the thing. I know Jason Aaron watches pro wrestling, so that's not out of the realm of possibility, too.
But anyway, the last panel of this is just awesome. The setup for that big fight and how exactly Superman is going to try to take him down. All of the stuff with the Al Ghul's happening in the background is intriguing.
Yeah.
But yeah, not fully getting everything that's... I mean, I'm getting the gist of this, but like having not read enough of this to get a great sense of where Superman's character is right now, and I feel like sometimes he's a little bit in the background of his own stories.
Yeah.
I did like this a whole lot. By contrast, I feel like Absolute Wonder Woman 21 doesn't get a whole lot done.
Right.
This book is always good. This is kind of the weakest issue of this I've read in a while.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's just all set up.
Yeah. And when you consider like how good the series has been since the beginning, and how actually it's been since the beginning too. I imagine I have the issue that's mostly just set up for the next arc can be a little pacing issue-y.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't excited, and like I usually am. You know what I mean? Like usually I have, which is, and I always say this. It's funny because it's a Wonder Woman that came from hell.
Yes.
But I'm usually so inspired by this book.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Like she just gives me this like warm, fuzzy feeling.
Yeah.
Because she's so altruistic and kind of has this like old school almost Superman charm about her in certain ways. But anyway, we're really building toward Minerva finally becoming Cheetah, and that whole thing is pretty tragic, and we're getting the background for the original Cheetah and the ways in which that she is going to be kind of forced to follow in her footsteps, which is sad, and it's Wonder Woman trying to save basically two women destined to become villains. She's trying to save Minerva, and she's trying to save her mother, and these are both characters that at the start we said we don't even know how they possibly become villains in this series. Maybe Cersei never will.
Yeah.
And it's looking more and more like they probably both will.
Right.
I think that's kind of what this arc is ultimately going to end up being about.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of just the start to this arc, and it's only a 2-part arc. And it felt like the start of a 6-part arc to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving right along. Okay, the only other new things I've got are, and I'm only showing you both of these because I had 38 in my back pocket, and apparently I never read it. So I've got Superman 38 and 39 with Superboy Prime, and I was reading these this afternoon, and then I had company over tonight, and I wasn't able to get back to this, so I actually haven't finished 39 yet, so maybe I'll talk more about this stuff next week, actually, but I do just want to real quick check in with this and say this series is awesome, and I read the first issue in this new kind of like retooled run, because obviously it's still Joshua Williamson, but it's Superboy Prime now with this kind of redemption or like road to redemption arc. I'm liking the meta like a DC comic reference stuff a lot with this, and the best way I could describe it, because I've mentioned this before, but it's handled so much better than Gwenpool did it.
Yeah.
And it is that same kind of idea, and there's a lot of comedy in it, but it's not a farce book. Like there's real dramatic stakes in this.
Yeah.
While you also have a character that comes from the real world and is trapped in a comic book and knows everything about DC editorial and is constantly making... See, I felt like very often Gwenpool's references... I don't know if you ever read any of that.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit long time
But
ago.
I always felt like Gwenpool's references were a little bit too kind of generic,
right,
and didn't really ring true as an honest to God comic fan. Sometimes it did. It was a little hit and miss,
right,
but it could get a little too Big Bang Theory.
Yeah,
for my taste. Joshua Williamson is such a comic nerd.
Yeah.
He just knows damn near everything, and he'll take the risk to make the kinds of references that you really got to know your stuff to get, and you have to be not just a reader but like a singles comic collector. Like he's
Yeah.
writing for those people. There's this great line in one of these issues. I can't remember which. I think it might be 39.
Yeah.
Where Superboy says he's something along the lines of he's familiar with most Superman villains except for the ones introduced in annuals.
Yeah.
That's such a good joke.
I've seen
It's really funny.
I've seen one page that's been kind of circulating the internet where it's Superboy who's like, "Oh no, I'm trapped in a 9-panel grid.
Yeah.
Keep me away from Tom King."
I heard about that. I don't think I've gotten to that part yet.
Yeah.
But the cover for 39 is just really pretty.
Yeah.
And again, I'm liking all the meta stuff. When you get to the end of 38, you have him actually standing on an unfinished comic page.
Yeah.
Where you can see like some of the notes in the margins and like the date and the name of the issue.
Yeah.
At the top of the page that's like handwritten, and it's really cool. And there's like an actual believable way that he winds up in that situation.
Yeah.
Which is neat. But this is one of my favorite covers of this year. It's so cool. Where you just have all these different eras of Superman, and he's literally trying to like leap his way out of the comic book.
Yeah.
This whole thing feels like if Multiversity was more accessible.
Right. I can see that.
You know, it's a little bit of that Grant Morrison thing where it's meta, it's kitschy, but you're supposed to feel like you're reading a character in real time that is actually literally in the book that you're reading.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get as like interactive and crazy as Morrison did with that, but it's also more followable.
Yeah.
You know? And so it's the more kind of mainstream version of that. But I'll just spoil this because it's the end of this issue. But when you get to the end of issue 38, there's a villain that intentionally throws him. I'm trying to remember even what causes this because I'm just not remembering right off. But he is thrown. I remember who it is. It's Manchester Black. That's what it is. Manchester Black is somehow familiar with Superboy Prime's history, and he has him in the middle again of this unfinished comic page, and he throws him into Infinite Crisis.
Okay.
And it's like Superboy's worst nightmare because he's trying to get past all the mistakes he made in the various events earlier and like the characters he killed and stuff.
Yeah.
And Manchester Black goes, "No, you don't get to do that. I'm gonna create your worst nightmare." And it's Superboy Prime versus Infinite Crisis.
Nice.
Which is hilarious. And I feel like there's also this cool meta commentary. And I think he's doing it in the classiest way possible to not throw his company totally under the bus.
Yeah.
But I think Williamson's doing this kind of meta commentary on how DC and Marvel keep just chasing their tail where they can't get away from the old big events.
Yeah.
And that makes it difficult for us to move forward. And I feel like his mission statement with this is, how do I tell a story that is pushing envelopes and doing something new? Okay, hopefully we're back.
Yeah.
Apologies, guys. It just keeps disconnecting on us. I don't know why it's doing that. So hopefully you heard the last thing I said.
Technology.
But I'll just go back for a second and say, if I can remember what I was talking about. I somehow Williamson is able to both make fun of the fact that we can't stop banking on nostalgia. And also bank on nostalgia.
Yeah.
Because the book is simultaneously doing the thing it's making fun of.
Yeah. Which, you
And
know,
and it kind of works, I think, but you know what it is? It works because of the POV. It
Yeah.
works because its main character is the fanboy that's reading it,
yeah.
who both is a sucker for those things and irritated by them.
That sounds about right. That's basically Superboy Prime in a nutshell.
Yeah, and so we, the reader, if you're like me anyway, I can relate to all of his frustrations
yeah.
with how comics work and the way he himself has been yo-yoed around and the way that it's almost been his destiny to be forced to do horrible things to people and then have to come back from that and live up to it. Yes, he does have to take ownership of that.
Right.
But there's also this part of it where he's written that way.
Yeah.
And in that way, you know what? I think what's really appealing to me about it is it's scratching all the same itches for me that Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe did.
Okay. I can see that,
It's that again.
Yeah.
Packaged in a whole different thing, and the opposite of that.
Right.
Where it's Deadpool murdering everyone in his world so that he can get to our world and take revenge on the assholes that wrote him that way.
Yeah.
And this is the inverse of that.
Okay.
Like entirely the inverse of that.
Okay, yeah.
That's why I didn't think of that until I started talking about it, but that's what it is. It's the opposite of Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe.
I mean,
it's neat.
Just look at the cover too. I'm already impressed.
It's so good.
Yeah,
Okay, so those are new books, and then I bought a couple more back issues of Spawn that I used to have, because I'm trying to buy back the first 50, if not the first 100. So I got 40 and 41.
You're getting there.
Yeah. So I'm doing that.
Doing the thing.
Everybody rolls their eyes. It's fine. And then I got the facsimile. Nobody get too excited. I got the facsimile edition that came out just last week of the first appearance of Batgirl. This is, of course, Detective. I should just know this. 359. And this is a grail book for me. Eventually, I want a first printing.
Yeah.
A really nice copy of this is gonna run you around 1,500. It's gonna be between 12 and 15.
Yeah.
And I'm having a little debate with myself right now, Chris, about grails I want. I've never dropped that much money on a comic book.
Right.
I don't know that I've ever dropped more than between 100 and 150 on a single book. And I've been considering saving up and finally doing that, where I buy what some of the collectors like to call big boy books. And I'll never say that again, by the way. But there are collectors that do that. So I will get placeholder facsimiles like this just because it's fun to have the experience of looking at it as it was, and in pristine shape, like a book from this period is not going to be probably. But where you got white pages, but it's still on that newsprint. DC does such a good job of its facsimiles to give you pretty close to the experience that you would have had if you bought it crisp off the shelf
off the newsstand in
1950 whatever, 1960 whatever. So obviously this is just going to be a matter of personal taste, but I'm still curious as to what you think. And what you would do in my shoes. And again, I don't have the money to drop right now.
Yeah, here's like
but I'm considering, and maybe in a couple of years, going after one of these.
Yeah.
Is it going to be? Well, no. I've got a question. I'm leading up to something.
All right, sounds good.
I'm between two.
Okay.
And I would love to eventually have both of these. But if I only had to go for one, and I don't have a facsimile of the other one sitting in front of me, I wish I did. Should I go for? And I think I know what you'll say, but I'm going to ask you anyway. You knowing me, being a big Batgirl fan, and being a big Batman fan in general, and it would be fun to have some of the big major keys. Like, I'd love to have a first Riddler. I don't know if I would ever get my hands on that.
Yeah.
Do I go for this, or do I go for a giant size X-Men?
Ooh, that's good.
They're pretty comparable in price. Yeah. The giant size X-Men's actually going to be a little higher.
Yeah.
To get in great shape.
Yeah. If
that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I can see that too. And like part of me, here's the thing. I don't have like that facsimile, but I do have a reprint of that issue because when like Batman and Robin came out, they did like the first Poison Ivy story.
Yeah.
That giant size X-Men though. That's getting right to my.
I also think of the two of them, Giant Size X-Men is probably the one that has more staying power as far as increasing in value.
Yeah.
Partly just because it's the first appearance of so many characters.
Yes. And basically the book that saved X-Men as a concept.
Of course.
A lot of people don't. It's funny.
All this book did was bring a character in a TV show into comics finally.
Yeah.
That's what it did. Because I know a lot of you guys will know this, but in case you're not familiar, Barbara Gordon's first appearance is on TV.
Yeah.
She was invented for that show.
Because originally it was like Kathy and Betty Kane that were Batwoman and Batgirl.
Yeah, where you had a Batgirl, but the Barbara Gordon version was actually created by Bill Dozier, and he doesn't get enough credit for that.
Yeah.
Well, he made her a librarian and everything.
Yeah.
Like he made her Gordon's daughter. He made her a librarian.
I mean, people forget just how important Batman 66 actually was too.
Braden says, "I don't think X-Men fits your collection as well." Do you have any idea how much X-Men I own?
I was about to say, I'm looking at
X-Men is probably you might be surprised to know this, the second highest number of books I own as a property to Batman.
Yeah.
And especially if you take all the Batman adjacent books, but then all the X-Men adjacent books, they might even be closer to tied. I have probably 150 issues of Wolverine.
Yeah. I know you've got
I've got a ton of Uncanny. I can actually pull up a number and tell you just what I have for Uncanny. But I've got a lot, and that's part of why it's hard to choose between those.
Yeah, I will say, Austin, we're not gonna get the first appearance of Man-Thing. We gotta get giant size Man-Thing. That's what we need. That's what we need.
I own, of the first volume of Uncanny, 228 issues. And the earliest one I have, I bought last year, right around when we released the movie.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Because I think you went to the shop with me when I bought
so,
that.
actually. Yeah.
23.
There you go.
It's a neat cover.
I think that was right kind of when you discovered what would become your current shot.
Braden says, really, you almost never talk about it compared to Batman stuff. Some of that is I've read a lot more Batman than I've read X-Men.
Yeah.
I own so much X-Men I've never read.
Yeah.
But I like collecting it. And it also just shows up a lot.
Yeah. And
that's a book that's just gettable a lot. It's part of why I have so much Daredevil.
Yeah. And here's the thing with X-Men too. You can grab a random issue from a random era of Batman and kind of have your grounding. Okay, I know what's going on. X-Men has had so many weird status quo shifts, so many weird team shifts and tone shifts over its lifetime.
Yeah.
We were just talking the other day about how they were in Australia for a while.
Right.
There was an era where they just lived in the outback, and then they went through the Siege Perilous from Arthurian legend.
So according to my database, just books that are X-Men titles or related to X-Men. I don't know if all the Wolverines are on this list. Let me see. No, they're not. So all of this stuff plus Wolverine, this says about 850 books. And then Wolverine would be another 100 to 150.
Oh, wow.
So I own at least 1,000 X-Men titles.
Yeah.
Batman, it's more like 2,500.
Yeah.
But okay, so you know what? X-Men might be third next to Spider-Man. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Or they might be kind of tied. I would have to look that up also.
Right.
But I don't want to bore everybody. We'll move on. But I was just gonna say I own about half of the first volume of Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I think I own about half of Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Because I think it went to maybe 450 or something before it was relaunched. Or was it even more than that?
I'm trying to remember. I can't think.
That's the number that stands out to me.
Yeah.
And I own 220 something.
Right.
So anyway, Senior Sticks, $5 super chat. Have you considered creating a comic shop museum, thus having the advantages of the bunker without having to sell a single comic as it's a museum? No, I wouldn't do that. I don't think my collection is curatable like that. It's neat to me.
Yeah.
And people that really like comics that come over get a lot out of it. And I will say, I've gotten a lot more kind of significant stuff, you know, like historically significant key issues, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Within the last year or so.
Right.
But I don't have any just crazy valuable stuff singularly.
Yeah.
I don't have any of your like $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 books.
Right.
It would not make sense for me to make a museum. Now, if I ever wanted to sell my collection, which I don't plan on doing, I definitely have enough to open a store with.
Yeah.
Or to have a really good, solid, gigantic flea market booth with.
Yeah.
And I could probably make some real money that way if I wanted to, especially if I sold some of my other collectibles.
Yeah.
But if I pieced it out, so my comic database, I'm hesitating because I'm like, do I really want to throw numbers out there? But why not? I might as well tell you guys. My comic database claims that my collection is worth somewhere around 65 grand. That's with the values not necessarily being accurate to what the actual what am I trying to say, condition of each of the books are, right? So it's like they'll toggle it to the condition you're likely to have based on the age of it and how much is out there and stuff. But just because it's grading it, or just because it's giving you the dollar amount for a very good copy doesn't mean your copy is very good.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I've got some inaccuracies in it. I do think if I'm conservative about it, if I pieced it out and I sold it properly. So obviously if I sell the whole collection, somebody's going to expect a discount. You're not. I've seen people attempt this where they'll go on Facebook Marketplace and they'll go, my data, they're looking at the same thing I am, CLZ, and they go, my database says my collection is worth 20 grand.
Yeah.
And I'm only asking 18 grand. You're never going to get that.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think conservatively, I could pretty likely, I mean, think about it. I have 11,000 comics right now. Plus about 300. If I sold them all at $1, I'm at 11 grand. And we know I've got a lot of stuff worth quite a bit more than that. So conservatively, if I pieced everything on like an eBay store, or I opened a store, I went to a flea market, I think we could expect at least half of what that database is saying.
Right.
I think I've got at least 30 grand back here. Wouldn't you say?
About, give or take, I mean,
I think that's likely. And I also have notebooks back here of books that are worth between 50 and 100. I have a couple things that are worth 2 to 500.
And that's before you get to like some of the sketch covers too, and try to price those out.
That kind of stuff. And so if you take all of that, well, that by itself is somewhere between 3, 4, 5 grand. So anyway. So all of that. Sorry, just to answer his question, I would not do a museum. I do have a pretty cool collection.
You do, Well, even just like today when I got here, we were going through just like some of your keys in the binder over there too.
Skeptic Stream, what's the earliest Spider-Man book you guys have? What is yours?
Here's the thing.
And I'm sorry, we don't talk about your collection enough.
Well, my collection is basically like scattered everywhere. It's in piles. I need to actually go through, bag and board everything.
I want you to let me help you with it.
I
really do. Just because partly because I think it would be fun. But I want you to let me help you like organize it and get it in a database. I know you could do it, but I could motivate you.
Exactly.
Like let me help you do it.
I mean, probably. I'm not sure how super early of like Spider-Man stuff I have. I can tell you for sure that pretty much anything from like the early 90s, I've got, like, I can guarantee you I've got most of the Clone Saga. I've got the one where the Vulture starts like stealing people's youth,
Oh yeah.
and then like Spider-Man's parents show up, but they're not his parents. The one they kind of based the animated series Vulture on. So I've got like a lot of like spectaculars. I think I have a couple Secret Wars. I might have the first Black Suit.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've got that. Braden, you should absorb Chris's collection in your own. No,
I'm gonna
steal Chris's stuff.
He's
And
he's gonna go through like, why do you have an Emo Boy comic from 2003, 2004?
And I'm pretty sure he's got some decently valuable stuff in there that he doesn't even know about, or doesn't even remember.
I mean, I've got like
we got to get you organized.
We do.
Do you even have a guess at how many books you have? Because you don't even have them all in long boxes.
I don't even have them all in long boxes too. Like I've got at least I'd say about, just offhandedly, easily like at least 6 long boxes just kind of stacked up a pile somewhere.
So you've probably got at least 2,000.
Yeah. And like I've
do you
found
have them in storage?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. But I do have a few like decent books too. Like there's One Year of Planet. There's just somebody selling just an old, just have a long box. Like, yep, we got 50-cent comics here. And going through is like, okay, so that's Daredevil where Bullseye kills a okay. You're selling this for 50 cents?
Yeah, for 50 cents.
Yeah, okay. Just so you know.
Was it in bad shape?
No, it was actually, I mean, it wasn't pristine, but for like a comic that old, it was.
Because we've talked about this. Yeah. That's not as valuable as it ought to be. Although it went up a little bit recently.
So yeah,
which is good.
Last I checked, it was like
I think that's finally up to about a $35 or $40 book.
Yeah,
but I still think it should be worth more than that.
Yeah.
To answer his question, for me, the earliest issue of Amazing I own in first print is 53. Which is a Spider-Man versus Doc Ock cover,
right?
And that's about a $45 book in decent shape. After that, I've got 55 and then 71. For the longest time, the earliest issue I owned was the 71, which is the cover with Quicksilver.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny too because I know for sure, at least as a baseline, anything early 90s, anything Clone Saga, anything in that kind of either side of that, I've got somewhere. I, for whatever reason, own the entirety of the Green Goblin series.
I've got all that too.
Yeah.
We've talked about this.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'd have to dig to if I have anything earlier than that, too, because I'm sure I do. Like, I've got, like, some spectaculars that I got, like, a garage sale.
Now, I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Do you know the oldest comic I own? Or do you know how far back it goes? I mean, you're not going to know the actual issue. But
I don't know offhand.
Haven't we talked about this? I can't remember.
I know you said the most valuable one that you have is the Punisher.
Yes.
Yeah.
The oldest book I own is from 47.
Oh, wow.
I've got a Golden Age Batman that goes back that far.
Oh, nice.
So my earliest Batman, nobody asked this, but I'll say this anyway. My earliest Batman, it's not in great shape, but it is intact.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get an intact book from 1947, it's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
So this is supposed in very good condition.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've never graded books before, there's 2 grading systems.
Yeah.
Typically, you've got it graded with poor, good, fine, very fine.
Yeah.
Etc. And then you've got the number system that's used for CGC grading.
Yeah.
Where you've got a 7, 8, 8.5, 9 point whatever. So this says if this book was graded very good, it would be worth $488.
Right.
My copy would probably not be a very good copy. It would probably be good if not a little less than that.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I could sell this for at least $100.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's worth the 500 that it would be if it was very good. Anyway, it's Batman 41. And it's actually a key issue.
Oh, really?
It's the first Batman sci-fi cover.
Okay.
So he's fighting these weird alien guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know there's the one where it was like the mob boss who's also an alien.
This. I hate it when that happens.
Exactly. I did manage to find. I'm not sure if this is the oldest comic I own, but this is a contender. Superman 154 from 1962, which was just like a random Mrs. Pitlick issue.
From what year?
62.
Okay, cool.
1962, yeah.
I've got a lot of mid-60s books.
Yeah.
I've probably got a few things from back that far.
Right.
But I've got a pretty big gap between 47 and whatever the next thing is.
Yeah.
I would have to, or I'll have to look here in a second. This is that cover. And there's a guy on eBay here who wants close to 500 for his.
Yeah.
And this is probably, honestly, about the shape mine's in.
Right.
Mine might be slightly worse than this.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to get $500 for that.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's what it's supposed to be valued at, and you put it up at 3, you'd probably get it picked off pretty quick.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Austin says, I was thinking it was your Daredevil 2. No, I've got some things in between that even. Okay, so real quick for anybody that cares, and then we'll move on to review books.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're stalling out here, but I'm having fun. Chris?
Yes.
So my oldest book's from 47. My next oldest book is an issue of Adventure Comics. I don't even remember buying this, from 1958.
Oh, wow.
268 with the Superboy cover with the Hall of Heroes.
Oh, nice.
I'm not going to look all these covers up to show everybody,
Yeah.
just because we'll want to move on. But Austin, I have it looks like at least 5 or 6 things before you get to Daredevil 2. Well, and in fact, I even have a Fantastic Four issue before you get to that, which is Fantastic Four 20, which I've talked about a lot with. It's the reason that I like Molecule Man.
Yeah.
Because I bought that when I was 12 at a flea market.
Right.
And I got on the phone and I haggled with the guy.
Nice.
At 12.
Nice.
And I got it a little cheaper than what he was asking. I think I paid $30 for that.
Yeah.
Back in 1996 or so. No, I have a decent number of things before you get to that. But I might go through more of this stuff down the road for you guys, because we need to get a move on. Okay. Anyway, several detectives and Supermans and and things like that through the late 50s into the early 60s.
Right.
So I actually have more 50s than I realized I did. I probably have 7 or 8, which is pretty crazy. Or I'm sorry, not 50s, but real early 60s.
Yeah.
Let me look at this again. For 50s, I own 2 issues. Books before you even get to 1965. I have a Doom Patrol from 65.
Oh, wow.
See, I even get surprised by this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't remember buying that. There's a lot of stuff that my dad used to find me.
Yeah.
Because he was selling comics at the same time I was for a while. He doesn't get into comics as much anymore.
Yeah.
But boy, I used to every couple of months get a phone call from my dad where I would have to take an hour out and look up everything on my database and see what I had. Yeah. And he would just gap fill for me.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
And then I paid for them, but I got, as you might suspect, really nice deals.
Yeah.
Where they were always offers I couldn't refuse. Where be like, Dad, I don't even need to spend money right now, but if you're offering me this like Bronze Age stuff for $2 a book, I don't know, or less, I don't know how to say no.
Right.
Braden, you said you got that book in 1996 for 30. Well, I must have remembered it more specifically at some point when I said that. But I thought it was around that. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, I'm sorry. I have one more thing to show you guys, and this is the most exciting book I bought in the last week. Speaking of flea markets, I went to this really great flea market here in the Overland Park area on Metcalf. There's a I say flea market. There's an antique store that has a couple of really good comic vendors.
Yeah.
And I was gap filling pretty hard with one of them.
Yeah.
And then I went to another booth, and he had a bunch of more high dollar books on the wall, and I decided to put back everything I was gap filling to buy one book. Because I had a budget that day, and I said I'm not going to spend more than a certain dollar amount because I'm about to go on a trip and I didn't want to buy very much.
Yeah.
And I went, okay, well if I keep all this, I'm gonna have to spend $70 today. And today's not a day to spend $70, but it was a day to spend $35, and I spent my $35 on a one shot from 90 I think 96. I think we're still sitting in 98, pardon me. Which is the famous Batgirl Adventures cover, Batgirl Adventures #1. This was not the start of a series. This was just a one-shot. It is the dream team of Paul Dini and Rick Burchett. It's a Christmas story because they love those.
Yeah.
I've not sat down and read this, but I thumbed through it a little bit and was kind of surprised that it was a Christmas story. This is a $50 book that I got a pretty good deal on for $35. It has like one spine tick, so it's not worth quite that. That would ding it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I thought what I paid for it was quite reasonable. Really pretty white pages. Other than that little tick, it's in really, really good shape. And this is one I've kind of wanted for a long time. And I don't know what it is, but lately I've been prioritizing Batgirl and Supergirl quite a bit, and Spider-Girl too, quite a bit. And so it was just the right time. And I never see this in the wild. So I was stoked to find that.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed getting to finally get my hands on that. And now what's it time for, Chris? Should we get the cover of the week?
Cover of the week.
Cover of the this
cover.
one won't take long.
Yeah.
So we almost didn't even go with this. We almost went ahead and just spun shook the phone again.
Yep.
But we didn't do that.
We shake the phone, we spin the wheel.
That's what we do.
Yep. We bop it, we twist it.
Let me remind everybody one more time, because we've had a lot of folks in and out tonight, that we do a wheel spin right at the end of the show to decide what we're going to review next time for our featured book. And people all night long have been putting in $5 super chats to put something on the wheel. But if you still want to do that, you can. And just remember, there's a lot on the wheel.
There's a very good chance we might read the Ultimate Warrior comic, and I will have to explain pro wrestling.
Luckily, there's not a very good chance. Right now, it's like 1 in 50 or something. There's a lot on the wheel.
Load the spaceship with the rocket fuel.
If we get all the way up to like 100 or something, we may have to do a cap off. I don't know if we can fit more than that on the wheel. But
we'll have to have a wheel of wheels.
All the interest with it. But this has been like a raffle.
Yeah.
And we can't promise that yours will get hit. But for as long as we're doing this program, you have a chance at your thing getting hit, and we appreciate the support very much. Injustice Year 5. This is what everyone came here to see.
Everyone came here to see.
Injustice, Gods Among Us. No one said Gods Among Us.
Yeah.
Since that first game came out.
Yep.
Year 5, number 5. In this issue, Batman and Catwoman go their separate ways tragically because Superman's regime, because he is a tyrant now in the Injustice universe. We all know about Superman kind of taking over the world and forcing his will on everyone. She feels like they're having to make too many compromises in order to fight Superman, and that they're never going to be able to win. And she doesn't like all the, ironically, all the villains they're having to fight with and stuff. And that's one subplot. And the other subplot is there's finally Bizarro.
I must have read a different one, because the one I read had Wonder Woman and Aquaman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, let me make sure that that's what's actually in this, because I read it in digital.
Yeah.
Because I was out, but I'm pretty sure that's what is supposed to happen in this. Yeah.
So we do get Bizarro.
Yeah. This is issue, and I told you which ones to look at.
Yeah, here's the thing though, like
these are chapters 9 and 10 of So let me just explain this to everybody really quick.
Yeah.
This thing is complicated because in Justice, we used to do this with quite a few things in this period in the early 2010s, and we don't do this as much anymore.
Right.
But you would have digital first stories that were basically half of an issue of a comic book.
Yeah.
But the way they would structure it is they would be in, and I'll go ahead and show you guys this. They would be formatted so that you're getting the top or the bottom half of a page, and it would fit nicely on a tablet or a phone.
Right.
And sorry, give me a second, everybody. Where do I have this? I thought I had this, and I don't. Hang on. Oh, maybe I put it in Vault. Dude, I set this up and I can't find it. Apologies, everybody.
Yeah.
This aspect ratio is so weird.
Yeah.
That I had to do a crazy thing to set this up, and now I can't find the thing. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Right.
Anyway, I knew I had it in here somewhere. Apologies, folks. Okay, so we've got it now. Anyway, so this is the aspect ratio they did this in, and if you buy the singles, they take the top and the bottom again, and they sandwich them back together, and they make it look like a normal comic page.
Yeah.
And if you're reading this in digital, that's really the only way to do it. There's not a digital version of the print copy usually.
Right.
And so if you're trying to figure out what the digital issues were versus the print, it can be a little complicated.
Right.
And kind of irritating. So anyway, it was chapters 9 and 10, Chris.
Which is
funny. I don't know why you couldn't figure that out, because I sent you the numbers.
You did. Well, here's the thing though.
What happened?
The funny thing too is that
I'm not giving you crap about it.
No, you're good. It's funny because in the first round, issue 5 was also like 9 and 10. So they basically have like the same structure of the...
Yeah.
It's weird, yeah. Let's see, I've got open my phone. I'm just kind of thumbing through right now.
Well, it's not a big deal. I'll just talk about this real briefly because it's not a thing anybody's going to care about.
Yeah.
This is just what came up on the wheel. So, I did my homework. I read this real fast.
I mean, a lot of these too, it's just kind of, it's just kind of almost mini stories. Like a thing happens. It's like, okay, we get a little bit of plot. There isn't like
that's why these didn't read super well in digital, and I never liked these little digital chapters. Because it's not going to stick with me if I'm only reading like 20 half pages.
Yeah.
It's weird. But anyway, but yeah, the structure of the stories is different because it's in digital. Yeah, absolutely. So because you didn't read the right issues, you won't know this.
Right.
But there is a very weird coincidence that we ended up with tonight, Chris, between our cover of the week and our feature.
Yeah.
And it's a character that has never, to my recollection, showed up on anything we've reviewed on this show, any of us, in 33 shows.
Is it the Trickster?
And it's the Trickster.
The Trickster, yeah, I see.
The Trickster shows up in this, and he shows up in the
Aquaman.
first issue of the Aquaman book we're going to review later tonight.
Yeah.
And I've never seen him show up in literally anything.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It's wild, too. Because...
on this show.
Yeah. And again, like... And we'll talk about this later, the Aquaman book, there's even a joke about him doing his Luke Skywalker thing.
We'll talk about that.
Sorry, but that's not the point.
I want to deal with that later.
Right.
But anyway, this is just Superman's continuing to make all the wrong calls and do lots of horrible compromises in the name of protecting people and keeping order and all of that.
Yeah.
And what's kind of surprising to me, because I've only read the first year of this, is it feels like we've just kind of been spinning our wheels for 5 years.
Yeah.
I didn't come into this feeling like I was missing enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, yep, this is the Injustice status quo. He's still, like, making all of his allies wonder if they're making the right call by backing him, but they're afraid that if they left him, he would do something horrible to them.
Yeah.
And now he's working with a lot of villains. But, like, that doesn't feel like a giant leap. And there's sort of a list of, like, really bad things Superman has done lately.
Yeah.
And I wasn't, like, surprised by any of it. It's like, you're 5 years in. I would think things would be so crazy at this point.
Yeah. And even, like, the Injustice games, from, like, 1 to 2, you had Superman Prison. You had Brainiac. You had a different plot. And again, like, just flipping through and looking at this now, it's the same plot as year 1. It's the same basic, like, oh no, Superman's trying to bring world peace. It's not working. He's murdering people. It just seems a lot of, second verse, same as the first.
Yeah, well, and it's like, in the first book, he's at least
it's at least the first book. It's like, okay, he's making mistakes.
But what I was going to say is he's still, like, trying to figure out, like, who he can trust and who he's going to bring in, and he's got all the Justice League, like, picking sides and all of that.
Yeah.
But, like, you've got all of that worked out by this point.
Right.
And so I'm just saying, I don't agree with you that it feels like the same story as the first year, but it feels like the status quo has not changed at all from the end of that story.
Yeah.
And that's kind of weird. It's also odd to me, and every slightly Elseworlds version, or when we adapt into other media, but we want to keep it kind of as mainstream comic as we can, it has to deal with this. Yeah. But it's always interesting, the choices we make of characters that have existed in this universe for a long time, and characters that we decide this is the first time we're seeing them. It's really odd that 5 years into the Injustice universe, and all of the DC history you would have before that, there's not been a Bizarro yet.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really weird that he's brand new.
Yeah, I know, seriously.
For this.
Yeah. I mean, Bizarro...
That was my big takeaway.
Bizarro is a character that has existed in one form or another since the Silver Age. For, at this point, like, well over half a century. So
yeah, but more than that, I'm just saying it's a very established member of Superman's rogues gallery. And it's weird that Superman wouldn't have a Bizarro until he's become a tyrannical dictator. For 5 years. That's so odd.
It's so, well, again, like, with
they pick and choose a lot of, like, what characters have just been around forever. And which ones are brand new when we're first now seeing them. But most characters have been around.
I mean, Injustice usually, it picks up like, okay, most of everybody's been here. So
now, I will say, I think there's an intentional kind of odd parallel thing we're doing here. This sort of irony of, because of, I just thought of this, I think this is maybe the point of it. You introduce Bizarro now, although you could even do this with an established Bizarro. I don't know why this has to be the first time we see him to accomplish this, but the point of it seems to be, Superman is so far gone and so opposite of what he's supposed to be that he is the real Bizarro. And that Bizarro seems more like the altruistic, stalwart Superman. Compared to the psychopath Superman we have now. That's interesting.
And that's even something they kind of tried to do a little in Red Son. Just briefly, but so that could work, but again, too, that's something you could do with an established Bizarro. You don't necessarily have to have it be the first time anyone has seen this, character ever. Without having to make that point.
I'm not sure why we had to do that,
and it could probably actually work better just as a storytelling device if it was a character who's been around for a while and you see how, like, see him in a different context. Just, I don't know, I want to rewrite the story here for...
Yeah.
Premiums.
As always with Injustice, it's relatively fanficky,
Yeah.
and it's kind of fun, throwaway stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, that gets a pass because it feels like really violent Saturday morning cartoon.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I think it was the first year where they had the line, where they asked Green Arrow why he has a boxing error. It's like, I need to punch somebody far away.
Yeah.
So there is that sensibility, but with that little bit of a when you remember that it's made to tie into a game from the Mortal Kombat guys, it makes sense. So you see why a lot of decisions are being made.
The art in this I've never really cared for.
Mm.
Like it's serviceable. Like
Yeah.
it's just fine.
Mm.
This is the strangest Batman face I've ever seen.
Yes.
It's hilarious.
He's like,
But yeah, it's odd checking in with this again because again, I've read the first year like 3 times.
yeah.
And I don't mean to disparage this too much because I actually really enjoyed that for somewhat of a guilty pleasure, but I
Yeah.
think that there's some really good writing in it.
Yeah.
And I also should not be disingenuous because now that I'm looking at this is not the normal writer for this book.
Mm.
He changes apparently at some point.
Yeah,
This
Tom
is-
Taylor was the first.
Thank you. I couldn't think of his
Yeah.
name. But yeah, this isn't Taylor, and I was just assuming it was. This is Buccellato, who I don't know who that is.
Okay.
So I don't know when it changed hands,
Right.
and how many writers this book ultimately ended up having.
Yeah.
I've always meant to finish it, but then I heard a whole lot after Austin and I reviewed the first year finally
Yeah.
of it just goes downhill from here. It's a waste of your time.
Right.
And so I never prioritized it after that because of that. But again, I don't want to throw Tom Taylor under the bus because I've never thought that his writing style and sensibilities, you know what? He's a little bit like a Dan Slott in this way, although I like his writing for mainstream superhero better than I do Dan Slott.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that Tom Taylor should stick to all ages and more kid stuff,
Right.
like we talked about last week with Dan Slott, because we
yeah.
reviewed a Dan Slott thing. But Taylor, I think, with his more, I don't know how exactly do I want to put this. It's late.
Mm.
He's a little gimmicky.
Yeah.
And he goes kind of like Dan Slott does for the real referencey style and humor and fan service. That's what I was looking for. He does that kind of stuff. And so if you saddle him with the right project, his like showing off with all the obscure stuff he knows, he does less of that than Dan Slott does.
Yeah.
But about the DC universe, can work and be really appropriate.
Yeah.
I don't like that Tom King. I don't like that Tom Taylor is working on anything in continuity.
Yeah.
I think his lane is Elseworlds,
Right.
type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So give Tom Taylor something like this.
Yeah.
I like Deceased a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was really surprised by when I finally read it.
I haven't read it. Yeah.
Austin and I reviewed that too,
Mhm.
and it's cool. Like I really like that, but I wouldn't want it in continuity.
Right.
Give him. You know what? If you couldn't get, maybe this is going to be blasphemy.
Yeah.
But you'll be hard pressed to disagree with this based on what we had.
Yeah.
You should have given Tom Taylor Arkham Knight.
I could see that. Yeah.
He should have written Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
That would have been the guy.
Yeah.
And if you came back and did more Arkham comics, he'd be the guy.
Yeah. I can see that too. Yeah. I'm trying to think of how much I've actually read Tom Taylor outside of.
It's really just been those two things for me, I think.
Yeah. Because this is the big thing I know him from. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. Deceased has been on my list for a bit. It's one of those that
He's a really consistent writer for the kind of thing he does.
Yeah.
And you're either going to like that or you're not.
Yeah.
But again, I see it as kind of guilty pleasure writing, but that's also disingenuous because there's decent story stuff in it. Like there's a really good Batman Superman showdown in that first year of Injustice that I thought was actually quite well written.
Right.
So I mean, every now and again you'll feel something.
Yeah, and like at least with again, like reading the first year, within like the setup for the game that he's working for something that's, I know we've even kind of talked about this before with even like DC versus how you have the plot that's basically a setup just for like the fighting game.
Well, and the thing is, with Injustice,
Yeah.
like the comics are very removed from the game to me.
Yeah.
I get why you're talking about that.
Yeah.
I don't even think about the games at all when I'm reading that.
And that's what I'm kind of saying too.
Because the story in the comics is a lot more interesting.
Yes.
And so like yes, it's connected to that stuff, and that's why the costumes all look stupid. Like I get
why
that.
you get the weird Batman chin
But
strap. Yeah.
they are disconnected things to me.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna try and say too. Like working with this parameters,
my
he's doing his own.
investment in it is the concept of Superman is so far gone, he's a despot. What do you do with that?
Yeah, exactly. And I think working within that and kind of working within doing his own little spin in that corner of the world, it works.
Yeah.
It works in a lot of ways too. So either way, stuff I saw was fine.
Yeah. I don't know. There are more interesting things to come up on the phone.
Yeah.
So speaking of, let's go ahead and shake said phone. This whole show just lives in this app now.
Exactly.
This is what we do, Chris.
What we do.
All right,
let's
Chris, go
see.
shake the phone.
Shaking that phone.
Here we go.
Okay.
I'm always afraid when he says that. It makes that
It's
face.
not a bad thing. It's a Batman adventure.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
No, I'm in the mood for this stuff.
Yeah.
This is great, and I think this is an issue I've never read. So, I'm excited. Okay,
Yeah,
that is Batman. You sold it short, Chris.
Right.
Chris likes to put on his poker face. Made me think I'm gonna hate the thing that came up. So we got Batman Adventures 27, which is, of course, everybody give me a second to get this back. This is not what we're talking about yet. Okay. We will talk about that. Oh, where is it? I can't
Technology.
find it. Yeah, exactly. Okay, there it is. So that is Batman Adventures 27, where Batman has apparently been in a fight with
Adam West.
with a earlier like Silver Age Batman.
Yeah.
Apparently, so I'm excited to see what that. You're right. It is kind of Adam West.
Beat him up, took his bat shark repellent.
Well, no, he actually looks more like, and I wonder how they'll play this.
Yeah.
If it'll be a Batman from a different universe. I don't know if they did that kind of stuff, or in that book, or if it's gonna be a like, him in an earlier suit.
Yeah.
But he looks like you said, a campier Batman.
Yeah.
But it looks more like either Super Friends Batman or like that show in the 80s. I'm not sure if it was Ruby Spears like Superman was, but it kind of looks like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks sort of like that.
So yeah, I mean, again too, Batman Adventures, he can't go too wrong.
No, and I've been wanting to go completionist with that series, minus 12, because I don't know that I'm ever gonna pay for first appearance of Harley Quinn.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've got a facsimile. I'm probably okay with that facsimile.
Yeah.
That's not so much of a grail for me. Like, I like Harley Quinn fine. I think that book is overvalued, and I don't think I would like. If I drop the money I need to get that first appearance of Batgirl, I'm not gonna be sad about it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna regret that. I'm not gonna have buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
If I paid $500 or $600 for first appearance of Harley Quinn, I'd have buyer's remorse.
I can see that. Yeah.
I really would.
Yeah.
That flea market where I bought that though has the first printing of the first issue of her ongoing.
Okay, yeah.
Which is a good cover.
Yeah.
And is also like a $35 book. And I was actually a little tempted by that.
Yeah. I remember when that came out too. When
I've got a couple issues of that series.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to dig it out somewhere too. I need to just dig through my collection and see what I have. I'll just bring my long boxes one day.
You need to, first of all, put it all in one place.
Yes. Yeah.
You gotta get it all in one room, Chris.
Yeah. You can only pull so many comics off the cushions on your couch before you gotta get it. That is a joke.
You know what I'm afraid about?
What?
I'm afraid if I looked at your collection, you'd have stuff that should be in nicer shape than it is, but
Yeah.
like you folded it and put it in your back pocket.
I'm not that bad. I'm not that.
Okay, Aquaman Time and Tide.
Yes.
This is this was requested, I believe, by 559. Let me double check. Yeah, 5590ERS asked for this one. Again, we will spin the wheel right after we finish talking about this. So good luck, everybody.
Yeah.
We'll see who get big money, no whammies. And I really like that he asked for this, because this is one of those books I never would have thought to read.
Yeah.
If not for that. Obviously we all love Peter David here. He is pretty consistent. We've been doing quite a bit of Peter David stuff lately. Reviewed some of his Supergirl not too long ago, Austin and I.
I've been trying to get through some of his X Factor too. Just
oh, cool.
Yeah. It's recently just a podcast. Occasionally listen to the Jay Miles podcast, and I got through the episodes about his X Factor. It's like I've only read bits and pieces, but it was a big thing back in the 90s. So
right,
yeah.
I've never read that stuff.
Yeah, and I've heard it's supposed to be like the workplace comedy of the X-Men books. So.
With Aquaman, there was this offshoot book that chronicled the early lore of Atlantis that Peter David did, and I don't remember much about it. I've read like an issue of that.
Yeah.
But that's as close to dipping my toe into these waters. You see what I did there?
Yeah.
As I've done.
Yeah.
This is a really interesting read, and not exactly what I was expecting.
Yeah.
And overall, I liked it a lot.
I did.
There's some really odd, kind of goofy 90s-isms.
Yes.
Particularly when it comes to just like relationships and sexuality and
stuff.
stuff.
Oh yeah, like his girlfriend who he thought he killed by, just going a little too hard.
Oh yeah,
a little too hard there.
There's the fact that at one point he's trying to date a whale.
Yes,
that happens.
Yep,
which is pretty great. And there, I don't know about you. I don't know how similar our sensibilities are with things like this.
Right.
But there is something a little bit refreshing going back to a book like this that is as open about just talking about sex.
Yes.
This is.
Yeah.
I honestly really appreciate that.
Yeah, no.
Like it's like it's just kind of real about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not scared to talk about real things that are in regular people's lives. And
right.
I like that about it.
Yeah.
It's also interesting. He gets Peter David sometimes a little like Harlequin romance cover.
Yes.
With his relationships. And there's a lot of this isn't even the right way to say it, but the best way I can say it is like implied nudity.
Yes.
Where there is a lot of nudity in the book, but you're not seeing anything.
Right.
Or I should say there's a lot of naked people in the book.
A lot of naked people. It's like you see a lady in the Arctic.
Yes.
Yeah. The one thing, also, you do see Aquaman fight a polar bear in very tiny jorts. Very tiny cut off. Just in case you didn't know, this book was the 90s.
So this is, like I said, kind of the post-crisis origin now for Aquaman.
Yeah.
And I got to be surprised by some stuff, because I've really only read, as far as origin stuff go. Well, this isn't even in origin, but like it'll tell you the backstory.
Yeah.
Like some of the New 52 stuff with Jeff Johns.
Yeah.
That's about all I know. And obviously like the movies, which are whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I've really even experienced Ocean Master in comics hardly at all.
Yeah.
And so I got to be a little bit surprised by, at first, oh, he's just a guy, and then, oh no, he is Aquaman's half-brother.
Yeah.
And for a minute I thought it was doing that a completely different way, and then it wins back around to, oh, he's his half-brother. And I think Peter David, I'm jumping around, but I think Peter David handles the soap opera of this really well. I like how like comic melodramatic it is, while I'm still invested in what's happening.
Yeah. And another thing too, the origin was a little different, because the bits about like his mom possibly being a lunatic or a liar,
Yeah.
which that was not something I knew about too, where because
Me
I
neither.
always just knew the origin that was in the movie.
Right.
So there is a part, and
That's a very Peter David thing to do,
it
too.
is, yeah. Now there is a part that I don't know if this is a reference, but the dolphins that keep calling him Waterman?
Oh, I said whales. It's dolphins.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they keep calling him Waterman, which there was a Golden Age book where Aquaman went to college, and that was his college identity. It was like
Really?
Dan Waterman.
That's really funny.
I don't know.
So that's maybe a reference to that.
That's what I'm
don't know.
wondering too. Just odd little.
I didn't even pick up on the Waterman thing.
Yeah.
Did they actually call him that? I missed that.
Yeah. I mean, just little bits like when they first meet him when he's like first like early on too. But,
well, I want to back off for a second, just
yeah.
talk about the structure of this and just kind of set this up for
Yeah.
everybody. So it's a real breezy 4-issue read.
Yes.
And it kind of has something sort of in common with that Dan Slott book we read last week with Spider-Man and Human Torch, in that each issue is kind of a separate story, although it's more interconnected than that was.
Yeah.
But at first I actually thought that they were going to end up all being a lot more splintered and not talking to each other than they were.
Yeah.
The way we jump around the timeline in this is a little curious. And this isn't a criticism. I'm just a little surprised that this is the way he went with it. And I wonder if he was thinking, because what we do is we don't actually open with the origin. We don't start doing the origin until the second issue.
Yeah.
So the first, I mean, there's origin stuff. The first issue is the first time that Aquaman deals with superheroes on the surface world.
Yes.
And he teams up with the Flash.
Right.
Kind of begrudgingly. And they deal with the Trickster.
Yeah.
Because again, we can't get away today for some reason from
the
Trickster. It's very odd. And he is like really skeptical of humans and of course doesn't trust them. And it's kind of the Namor thing.
Yeah.
And we always play Aquaman, at least when he first shows up, a little bit like Namor.
Right.
I felt like this was getting real close to that material.
Yeah, this was like, I don't want to deal with these surface folk.
And then what we do is we kind of like back off after that and get down to the brass tacks of why Aquaman is the way we see him in that first issue.
Yeah. And
I think, like, at first, I'm confused as to why you didn't just do it linearly.
Yeah.
And there's this kind of amusing excuse where Aquaman has just never written a memoir and doesn't really know how to do, like, chronicling his history. I'll get to this in a little bit.
Yeah.
And doesn't really know how to do that.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I don't know, I'm just writing whatever comes to mind, and I'm jumping around a lot. And maybe I should have started at the beginning, but I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I think ultimately it's probably a good battle strategy on Peter David's part, and maybe was even, I didn't have this thought until just now, might have been mandated or editorial asked him to do that, to say, we don't think Aquaman will sell.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we don't immediately launch into an ongoing, probably. Although it is solicited at the end of the fourth issue, so maybe they knew going in they were going to do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it feels like there's this kind of like easing in, trepidatious thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, we need Flash or someone in the first issue to get people to buy it.
Yeah. And this was like the Hive Mark Wade's run, right?
And then or the start of it.
Yeah.
And then because this is 92.
Oh.
And then we'll back off and we'll tell you about this guy and his background, and hopefully we can make it like exciting and dramatic enough that you'll want to keep reading.
Yeah.
And if that's the mission statement, it absolutely succeeds.
Yeah. The one thing too that I thought was kind of interesting with Flash and Curry meeting for the first time is it reminded me of actually something that people were kind of speculating with before the first movie came out, when we just got that little glimpse at, like, you know, in BVS, where there were a lot of people who expected them to do like film Aquaman as like a cryptid, that just somebody who you've only seen in like glimpses, you've only seen blurry photos of, you've only seen blurry videos of, and you do get like this sense when he's meeting when he's being flashed, that first conversation where they're in the cave, that okay, this is an Aquaman that's a little bit more alien, a little bit weirder, probably not, and then towards the end he's getting shoved in front of like TV producers and being given vodka in limos. But
yeah.
So I mean, I did think that was interesting, and I did think that was kind of an interesting approach right at the beginning, and then I feel like subverted a very Peter David way.
Well, I like the way you see kind of the best and worst of humanity from his perspective right off.
Yeah.
And it would kind of give Arthur the impression that there's maybe this elite subset of human beings that I can put in a different category, but they've got to wear costumes and have superpowers.
Yeah.
Because everybody else wants a piece of me.
Right. Right.
And they're just out for themselves, and they're ruining the environment for their own gain.
Yeah.
And they'll turn on you on a dime if you're not getting something from them. And we see that from the kind of like weak-minded masses.
Yeah.
When you get to the end, where you have that kind of groupthink thing
Yes.
of, oh, Aquaman, we love you. Oh, wait, you're not actually trying to save you. We save us. Oh, we hate you.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, the corporate assholes.
Yes.
So Aquaman has always played like that kind of Spock thing of a man of two worlds.
Right.
And like he is a man, but he's not exactly human. And he feels like he belongs more in the ocean. But there's a feeling once he realizes that he's part human and somewhat from that world of like an allegiance to that, and so he's like a lot of this is about fighting different allegiances, trying to decide what you have an allegiance to.
Yeah.
And I really like the choice to have him raised in the ocean as he is, not by Atlanteans, but by dolphins.
Yeah.
That was such a curious and like I thought kind of bold way to handle this. It's like, this is gonna sound like a weird point probably. It read very like and I don't mean in a super wholesome way.
Yeah.
It read like classic Disney to me.
I could see that. Yeah.
It was like a under the sea version of
like Tarzan even too.
Well, no, I was gonna say like okay, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean classic Disney.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's Jungle Book.
Right.
Like he's raised by the animals and he's never seen a human.
Yeah.
And right, I guess Tarzan has that too.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't thinking of that. But it's also the exact opposite of Little Mermaid.
Yes. He doesn't want to be where the people are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that really leapt out at me.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a really cool idea to have humanity be so alien to him.
Yeah.
That he is raised by dolphins and thinks he's one of them. And then there's kind of like sorry, it's getting late.
Yeah.
There's kind of like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer thing.
Right, yeah.
Where he doesn't think he's different and then he cannot fit in with them.
Yeah.
and there are these physical things that he just cannot do.
Yeah.
That they need him to do if he's gonna keep swimming with them and pretending to be one of them.
Yeah.
And like I really felt for him with all of that.
Yeah.
And I also let me just say this real quick, how completely within this medium this is.
Yes.
This is an unadaptable origin.
Right.
You could not begin to put this in a live action movie.
Jason Momoa does not have a dolphin family. Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah. And then when his dolphin friend dies at the end too, and you have like the huge gash in the side.
It's gut wrenching. And that was another thing I was gonna say is I think I've about decided that this is just my era of comics.
I can see, yeah.
Particularly with DC.
Yeah.
And I talked about this on a show last week for Patreon when somebody asked me what the best decade of Batman comics was. Every time I look at anything DC, especially characters that I never would usually look at,
Yeah.
that's around this period,
Mhm.
I like almost always like it,
Yeah.
and especially tonally.
Mhm.
This is gonna be an odd point. I really appreciate the way Peter David, especially, but like in particular,
Yeah.
but a lot of writers from this period, how they handle comics.
Right.
Like these are not kids' comics,
No, yeah.
but generally speaking, I mean, but these were the kind of comics I was raised on,
Yeah.
and like generally speaking, at least a kid of a certain age, I would still give them these books because
Yeah.
they're because there's like a heart and a soul to them, and when they get really violent, especially like real violence, not just like superheroes fighting supervillains,
No, yeah,
but
yeah.
like the to the thing you said, the dolphin that's
Yeah.
all cut up.
Yeah.
There is a that's not a sensationalist choice.
No, yeah. I mean, it fit the plot.
It's
again.
being real in that moment to like make a point about it.
Yeah.
And I don't think just horribly preachy. I just mean like within the context of the story.
Well, it's a character moment for him too.
You needed to feel like he's feeling in that moment.
Yeah.
I'll read the super chats when we're finished reviewing this, guys. Thanks for the support and the extra things for the wheel. I'll get those on the wheel right before we spit it.
Yeah, and towards like the last issue too, they bring up they bring up Aquaman's really young child who back in like I forget when the actual story happened, if it was like the 70s or the 60s. Like the fact Aquaman and Mera have a child who gets killed, and they were able to bring that into the current continuity at like when they do the Ocean Master issue. Like there are some hints at that, and
oh sure.
So I mean they aren't shying away from again, they aren't shying away from violence. They aren't shying away from tragedy, and even if it's a dolphin or like a really young child too, it's handled well. It doesn't feel exploitative, and I think like
but I just like how it feels like editorials letting you do whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
and just the kinds of risks this sort of thing takes.
And it's funny too because I was kind of reminded of Peter David's Hulk run too.
Yeah,
where he had like he had a lot of reign over that character, and he was doing a lot of really heart-wrenching stuff, but also really comic booky stuff. Like, yeah, why not have the Hulk be a gangster in Las Vegas for a bit?
Yeah, and this is like that too, where it gets really silly.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel super silly.
It feels consistent. It feels like it's all of a piece, and it feels at least even the tone shifts don't feel too out of whack. So I mean,
I'm getting some Vengeance of Bane from this section.
A little bit, yeah.
And then there's this kind of classic idea with the sort of half-breed thing, the man of two worlds, that he doesn't fit in either place.
Right.
And what in the world are you supposed to do with yourself?
Yeah.
Like it's tragic. Like you said, what happens to his dolphin friend, and that he is not able to continue living in that world, and he's got to go find his place.
Yeah,
and that's ultimately Atlantis, where he can kind of have its cake and eat it too, where there are human-esque people, but he's also talking to fish and all of that.
Yeah.
If he goes to the surface world, he is such an outsider that through no fault of his own, he's not going to fit in, and someone's going to misunderstand him, and he's going to have the Wolverine thing of whoever I am around and care about is going to get hurt.
Yeah.
And again, that's a classic trope. We've seen it 100 times, and it is very effective here.
Yes. Yeah.
And when he falls in love with a Native American woman, and is initially, wouldn't be accepted in the tribe, but he but he saved someone in the tribe, and so they bring him in. But again, through no fault of his own, he accidentally brings
whoever these
kind of terror
entity,
down on them. Yeah,
yeah,
that was an odd thing.
yeah. And
where he's like, he's communing with like an evil ocean spirit.
Yeah.
That the Native American tribe knows about.
Yeah, that he just sort of taps into on accident almost too. He just
That's the kind of comic stuff where it's silly and it's odd and I don't fully understand it.
Yeah.
But it feels like it belongs here.
Yeah, exactly. It's like doesn't feel out of place necessarily, especially like 90s shadow ghost figures. Like, I mean, that's just exactly. It's like, all right, yeah, it's a comic from the 90s. Of course there's a shadow ghost.
I also think it's important to note that, and maybe this is part of the mission statement with this, for Peter David, is in a different way to how Jeff Johns did it. And I'm sorry to say, I think reading this maybe it makes me appreciate Jeff Johns' run slightly less.
Yes.
Only because, and I don't want to throw shade at Johns.
Right.
But Johns' approach was, let's attack the disparaging feelings people have about Aquaman and that they think it's a joke and all of that head on. As opposed to, and like have him have to respond to the reputation he has in the universe that way.
Yeah.
When you look at Peter David's Aquaman, there's no chance that this character in that world would have that reputation.
Yeah.
He's too badass.
Yeah.
Like you just wouldn't have it. And like people could, misunderstand his power with talking to fish or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's kind of scary.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, think about it.
I mean,
in the 616 Marvel universe, Namor doesn't have that.
No, yeah.
People are scared to death of Namor,
yeah.
And I think that's what would happen with this. And so it seems like part of what Peter David is trying to do with this is similar to what Johns was, where it's like, how can we make and maybe not just because people think he's a joke, but that he's just not that popular.
Yeah.
And that it feels kind of niche, where it's like, well, if you don't really care about the ocean and you don't love that aesthetic and you don't want to live in like the Little Mermaid world every issue, and you've got a character with a power set that seems to be a little more limited than some other characters, where he's got to be in a particular situation where communing with animals or manipulating water and stuff, which I know is more Mira's thing, is just not going to come up all the time.
Yeah, and there was a lot of that too. The one thing I did kind of appreciate...
he makes it feel really mythic.
Yes. The one thing I did kind of appreciate too was, on one hand, this is something just for new readers that you have to demonstrate what like Aquaman's power set is, but the way it's told, the way it's shown, it does play that Man of Two Worlds aspect where he's able to rip the doors off a limo. He's able to, again, like, go into the Arctic in his short shorts, his hot pants. But you do get like there is a lot of effort and really like naturalistic storytelling. Really again, it's not forced, but it's setting up like, okay, this is what his power set is. This is why he's cool. And then on the other side, you do have that aspect where it is mythologizing. It is sort of mythic because it's this guy who should be able to be in the Arctic in his short shorts, but... And
it feels like a blend of several different mythologies.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it feels like a little Greek and a little Norse, and
little...
also it does that with comic influences, too, where there is always some Thor in Aquaman.
Yes.
But what I didn't expect was as much Wolverine as is here.
Yeah. I mean, that third issue...
It really feels like Aquaman by way of Logan.
That third issue...
I love that.
Here's like, if
This made me want to read his run, and I never
Yeah.
cared about that.
I mean, honestly, same. And it's funny because, I mean, I've always been curious about it, and this was a different story than I was expecting because I thought it was just part of the run. I thought this was like midway through. I was expecting the famous scene with, the piranhas eating his hand off, and now he has a hook.
Yeah.
So the fact that this was a nice, this was something you could give to somebody who's never heard of Aquaman. And even though not everything in this book has stuck, like, I'm not sure if anyone else has really played into the fact his mom might be insane. And
Yeah.
that there's a green demon monster out there under the ocean somewhere. But,
Or being initially raised by dolphins.
you're being initially raised by dolphins, yeah. But it's still something.
I think that was my favorite thing in this.
Yeah, the dolphin.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a weird idea, but it
radical.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there is something.
Well, and I also love the way. Sorry,
Yeah.
because this is really related to that. I also love the way Peter David deals with the animals that communicate with Aquaman in this.
Yeah.
Because very often we make the animals too smart just
Yeah.
because they're communicating with humans,
Mhm.
and he's weirdly realistic about the animal speak
Yes.
and how relatively small or larger their brains would be,
Yeah.
and what kind of information they're able to process.
Right.
So the actual fish
Mhm.
are just products of instinct,
Yeah.
and you see them thinking in complete sentences, but they're really just doing whatever their instincts tell them to.
Yeah.
Then you get the dolphins that are more self-aware
Right.
and feel like sentient beings,
Mhm.
but they're not geniuses or anything.
You know what it kind of reminded me of, and this is a book that came out a few years later, but the animal dialogue, the fish dialogue, reminded me a little of We 3.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the ways, have you read? The way the animals speak of those is kind of similar, where it's like, yeah, we made this dog sentient, but it's, am I good boy? Oh no, me not good boy.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that in stuff.
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. So that's what it kind of reminded me of. And it's a hard writing style to do effectively, because it's a hard writing style to do consistently, because it can get a little grating really quickly. It can be.
Well, he doesn't do it very much.
No, he doesn't do it very much, but I'm just saying it works here too.
The panel layouts are cool.
Yeah.
Because there's several places, like the page we're looking at here, where instead of, and you get some rigid panels, but instead of your typical rigid like a square or a rectangle,
Yeah.
it flows like the ocean.
Yeah, I was just looking at that too, and
The panels will sometimes go in waves.
I'm a sucker
which
for
kinda
like,
neat.
yeah, I'm a sucker for good panel design too, and like people forget that panels
And
are
thematic panel
yeah,
design.
thematic panels. The margins can be part of the story too. So I mean, I did appreciate that too.
Yeah, it's dynamic.
Yeah.
And also, I was talking earlier about structure
Mhm.
and how I was kind of surprised that we start in the future and
Yeah.
and work our way back.
Mhm.
But even in that first issue, and we do this all the way through, we are foreshadowing stuff
Mhm.
that we will see happen later, but that has happened in the past.
Yeah,
And I bet this reads even better on a second read.
I bet. Yeah.
Because you've got that great opening with the goldfish that gets flushed down the toilet,
Yes.
the toilet and then gets eaten later by a bigger fish. You can already start guessing about the symbolism of that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then in the second issue, we see that played out.
Mhm.
And that whole thing ends up foreshadowing, I think, that tragic dolphin death
Yeah.
to some degree. Because you remember, we got to bring in the. I love the way we kind of unwrap the morality of some of this. where we're doing a little bit of a circle of life thing.
Yeah.
We're saying creatures of nature are going to do what they do.
Yes.
And it's in their nature, and it's how they survive.
Mhm.
I love that we make sharks from the very beginning seem like the scary, horrifying creatures of the deep.
Yeah.
And then when that dolphin dies, we need them to come in and make sure that the body is humanely disposed of.
Yeah.
And this is what sharks do.
Yeah.
And for a minute, Arthur's like, oh no, keep them away.
Right.
And then the sharks have to kind of remind him, no, like, this is necessary.
Yeah.
Like, someone has to do this.
Yeah. And remind me of there are a lot of cultures too.
I love that moment.
Yeah,
I kind of forgot about it until just now.
No, yeah, and
I love that bit.
Funny too, because there are a lot of cultures too that, I mean, historically you did have like some culture that practice ritual cannibalism. You do have folks that do, especially like hunting societies that believe in using every part of the animal. And
yeah.
It read again like
it's a code of conduct thing.
Yeah, it again, like,
I think there's parallels that we're making to the Native American like tradition.
Yes. Again, it's going back to like that mythic aspect of the story, and they're trying to mythologize Aquaman a little bit in a way that I think is really interesting and really cool that I wasn't really expecting. So
I think the fourth issue was probably the weakest.
Yeah.
I don't think I was as into the Orm storyline.
Yeah.
Like, I was interested enough by the end in just what the mythology is, like what the lore is.
Mm-hmm.
Orm himself as like the big arch nemesis for Aquaman, I could have kind of taken or left, and I was kind of hoping that he would do something with Black Manta instead.
Yeah, exactly.
But
it's cool.
We didn't even get Black Manta in this, which I was kind of surprised by.
Yeah.
But like, it's, I want to say it's a cool enough reveal when you find out that he was that guy that was around that tribe.
Yeah.
But he kind of telegraphs that and tells us that before Aquaman knows it.
Yeah.
So it's not actually played as a big revelation.
Yeah, and the one thing too is issue 4 reads as the most traditional like superhero story, where you're having like the weird Disney issue and the like Aquaman's Wolverine issue in issue 3, and how it's sort of after like the really interesting, quirky
we kind of bookends with traditional superhero.
Yeah, exactly.
Stories, doesn't it?
A little bit, yeah. So after like that weird kind of quirky middle, going back to that, it's like feels a little, I don't want to say jarring, but it's not quite as interesting as what came before too.
Yeah, it's kind of too back to basics.
Yeah. And again, like, I didn't dislike it. There is that part too where Ocean Master comes in and says, "I'm the rightful king," and Aquaman goes like, "All right."
That was great.
That was a great bit, yeah.
No, that's a really good scene.
Yeah. So it's not that it was a bad issue, it's just compared to the other, the two that came before.
They were so unconventional.
Yeah.
When you get it back to conventional, and I get why he does that.
Yeah.
Because he's got to establish his status quo.
Yeah.
And turn it into a superhero book.
Right. Yeah.
There's a part of you that wants this to somehow not be a superhero book.
Yeah, exactly.
I think maybe that's ultimately my big takeaway.
Yeah. And like I said, too,
and I wonder if his run ends up feeling less superhero, even though he's establishing more of that kind of thing to move forward with it. I don't know. I kind of want to read that now.
Yeah, like I've heard good things about his Aquaman run, and I've just never actually sat down and looked at it. I've got like the big like anniversary trade.
Oh, do you?
Digital. Well, I've got it like on digital.
Oh,
too.
I see.
But that's how I knew about. Somebody actually pointed out that it was Adam Waterman. Whoever. Yeah. Thank you. But like, so that's why I read like some of the Golden Age stuff too. So I'm looking at this book. It made me actually want to dive in. I knew I was about to say the phrase "dive in," and my little heart is like,
you're like,
you have to.
Am I gonna do it?
Yeah.
I'm just getting these other books on the wheel real quick,
Mm.
and then we'll spin it here in a minute. Anything else you wanted to say about this?
No, other than
High recommend from
high
me.
recommend, yeah.
Thanks for making us read it.
This
559.
was such a surprise too, because the most Aquaman I've read has been the New 52 stuff and like a little bit of like the Golden Age stuff and like the collection too. So reading kind of what's thought of as like the best era of Aquaman has been at least getting that taste and something that you could dive into.
I have seriously considered doing kind of a crazy new sub collection.
Yeah.
Which is every, and I don't think that there's too many really expensive issues to do this. But you know how big of a Death of Superman fan I am.
Yes.
I've thought about trying to buy up every issue, no matter what it is, published by DC in that continuity during that year.
Yeah. Nice.
Because I just keep finding I like everything I read from this period.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny too, because we were just talking about how I've got like every Clone Saga issue of Spider-Man. Pretty much. But like Zero Hour adjacent era, that was my era growing up. Yeah. And like it's
a cool thing to do.
It might be, yeah. But it's funny, like going through like books I grew up with, books that, you know, that was just what I was reading. And it's funny because the gaps I do have, going back and like finding like the little gems that I missed, like has always been fascinating too, and always been interesting. I haven't really been disappointed a whole lot when I've actually tried to find stuff from that era that for one reason or another I just didn't pick up from the shop or didn't really know about. So this gave me an excuse to actually get into Aquaman, that era of Aquaman. That and actually I will say too that like Austin talking about Emperor Aquaman, that run going on right now, has also really like I've never really
seems super cool.
Yeah, like I've never really disliked Aquaman, but
I've just been indifferent. It's just not my thing. Yeah.
Like it seems
But I have this with everything in this period. So like I'm not a Green Lantern guy, but if I read Green Lantern from this period, I always like it. And I have that with like Mark Waid's Flash. Like I don't care about Flash, but anytime I read Flash from this period, I always like it.
Yeah, exactly too. Like again, like there was that one Flash story that I just read recently because I heard it was like one of the best, where Wally gets shot, but as soon as like the bullet makes contact with his skull, he immediately, just instinct, goes into like Flash mode and freezes time, so that he has to solve like the mystery of whoever just shot him.
That's great.
So yeah, I mean, there's great stuff out there too.
Okay, these last couple super chats, sorry it took me so long to read them, but I just want to get through that review. Braden put in a $10 super chat and asked for AVP Deadliest of the Species and Sunstone, both of those books. And 559 did a $5 super chat and asked for, and he's the guy that gave us Aquaman, who asked for JLA Earth 2 by Morrison. Okay. So I put both of those on the wheel, and I'm now going to copy this whole thing. And obviously, folks that put things on the wheel, there's probably some people that have left by now, but hopefully they'll come back in and see whether their thing got picked.
Time to find out if Cap gets to learn about Distrucity.
Oh no.
That's a thing that like the Ultimate Warrior as like a human person in real life tried to sell to like publishers and make his brand.
That sounds like a thing that I'll read and then you get to talk about.
Yes.
All right, here we go. There are so many things in the wheel that you can't even see them all anymore. I don't even know how many entries there are now. It's got to be well over 50 probably, at this point. So good luck, everybody.
Yeah.
I hope yours gets picked, whoever you are.
Yes.
And here we go. Are you nervous? Because there's some bad stuff. And there's some
Again,
great stuff on here, and there's some stuff I don't even know what it is.
Marvel is staring at me with that death stare. I can feel the
that
cheer.
was on here. Why did we allow that?
I know.
You know, we should have veto power.
Exactly. Yeah.
Where it's like, we appreciate the $5, but
we just look directly
no
at the
dice.
camera and just cry. But please don't.
What we
please
do is,
don't.
if somebody picks something that we veto,
Yeah.
we just go to a list of books alphabetically by that company.
Yeah.
And we pick the very next thing. Like, that's
exactly.
Here we go. Spinning.
Round and round it
Sound
goes.
effects. I'm scared. I'm scared.
Oh, wow.
Scene of the crime was asked for this evening.
Yeah.
And that is a Ed Brubaker thing. And Bob Hunt asked us for that. So that's what we'll do next time. I don't know anything about that.
I mean, it's a crime book by Ed Brubaker, so it's probably not
it's got to be good. Yeah,
exactly.
Have you ever heard of that?
I haven't heard of that. I like his other books too. I mean,
who even published this? Oh, it's Vertigo.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, this is a 4-issue miniseries.
Okay, good.
So
good.
not too long.
Even better.
And it's not an ongoing. So we're not sampling something.
Right.
This is the thing.
Yep.
So we're gonna have a full discussion and kind of a vault at the end. And it is from '99.
Okay.
And it is drawn by Michael Lark.
Okay.
Do you know Michael Lark?
I don't, but I mean, he did Gotham Central. Lazarus, I've read like a little bit of by Rucka.
Okay. And then just some random Spider-Man and Daredevil and stuff.
The Pulse, which I think was supposed to be like the 616.
Batman 9 Lives I've never read.
Yeah. I know like
Oh, that's an Elseworlds thing. I don't even think I own that. Senior Sticks Cap, I would like a spin. Well, we spun it.
We did, yeah.
We're not doing multiple spins. We're only reviewing one thing next time.
Yeah.
So like, you're not here. You don't get to spin it.
Senior Six is like, I'm gonna read my own book. That's right.
559. I'm glad you guys liked the story as much as I did. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised how much I actually liked it too.
Same here.
Yeah.
No, I was really engaged with it.
Yeah. It was one of those where
it's hard to put my finger on why I felt like it tickled sensibilities of mine that other like Aquaman things and Thor things, things of that ilk don't tend to.
But again, the Wolverine stuff too.
Well, yeah. it is really that middle section more than anything.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I just read issues 1 and 4, I would have had the thing I usually do with characters like that, where I'd go, "This is good."
Yeah.
It's not really my thing. Then 2 and 3 like really were.
For whatever reason, when it started getting weird, it's like, all right, I'm here.
Senior Six, never mind. Then I don't understand what he's asking for.
I think he was just like, was this before we actually spun the wheel? Where he's like, all right, get on with it.
Yeah,
give me my books.
No, I get the sense he was wanting us to do multiple spins, but I don't know what the point of that would be. Because like we're not gonna like pick all the things for upcoming. We only spin it once and then we review that book. That's how it works.
He's like, you got a good book. We need to fix that. if I give you $20, will you spin again just for me? Like,
can I wipe that one out?
Yeah.
Well, no, because that last person's never gonna speak to me again.
No, yeah. I will. Listen, there's some, again, too. There's a lot of great books on this list.
There's also a lot of not great
There's also a lot of not great books on that list.
Everybody, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. We got to 3 hours again somehow, even though I didn't have a whole lot of books to review from last week. I blame myself. And also Chris.
Yeah.
And even Austin, he's not even here. Austin, but I blame him too.
You popped into the chat and just ruined everything, man. You just
how dare you? Thanks for hanging out with us. Like I said, I'll be back at least Thursday night for a special Captain Logan show, and I might be on tomorrow night for the Patreon show if I'm not out of plans I've got too late. And then I'm out of town all next week, and we might do something while I'm out of town. But we appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out. I was Captain Logan. This was Chris.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.
Night.